He out here.
Oops.
Yo, you have me and Richie switched. Like, it's his base got Roman under his camera.
Oh no. Oh no.
We good, we good.
What was it?
Straight to a
First
dragon on the
podcast,
screen.
SMH. No wonder it's
35
called
extra minutes.
Howisthisapodcast.
Oh, that's funny.
Welcome. Yeah, it's live for me.
Yeah. That's not good, dude. How you gonna read it?
I'll read it. Don't worry. I'll read it while you guys talk about football. Hey. This kid said you're muted.
Oh fuck. Okay. Man, this is so scuffed. This is so scuffed. Okay. Man, this is so scuffed. All right. To my right, Richie. Bottom right, Roman. Hello. This is so scuffed. The only good thing going on right now is I'm wearing this shirt. That's about it. That's about it. My
Yeah, I was not putting
even
a
then
good
I
shirt on.
Lip
even
reading.
then. All right, hello everybody. My Twitch is not even working properly, so I'm popping y'all out right now. Hello. I come here to complete
Alright, we gotta
silence.
do our best to not talk over each other.
Yes, but we gonna get this right. Can I pop out chat? Pop out chat. Do it.
This new layout sucks.
Yeah, this new layout is genuinely bad. I'm not sure what they were going for. Maybe it's like maybe it takes up like less energy or something, less bandwidth somehow. All right, Scuffed Podcast. Thank you, thank you. I got the dress shirt on, everything to be this scuffed. Hey, it makes up for it. All right.
So gay. So gay, Jean-Claude.
Chat moving too quick. Chat moving too quick, guys.
All right. All right. So the first topic we're going to be talking about is the Call of Duty League. So basically, a little rundown before we get into it. Teams, if you want to compete, first you have to strip your organization name. So like Optic would not allow to be Optic. They would take on the name of a city. So like Houston Outlaws, stuff like that. Second thing, which is I think much more important, is the buy-in is $25 million. And allegedly $25 million.
Yikes.
A quarter of $100 million.
Wow, man, that's
Yeah, and 25 times more than 1 million. So, and one more than 24, one less than 25 or 26. So, yeah, that much
Well,
money.
that was also the talk of the purchase for a spot in the franchise. That's how much you're paying, like not including like ongoing costs, like overhead
Right.
costs, and you have to have your own facility to like house the teams already and to
Yep.
have your matches at. So it was like
and pay
not
them.
just this amount, and
Yeah.
minimum salaries for all your players, like all
Yeah,
of these
they
things
make a
above.
lot on minimum.
lot.
It's like 80K or some shit.
Now it was minimum 50K, but like there's
Oh,
also
yeah.
players
But then
out
they
there
get
who
benefits,
aren't
right?
gonna. Yeah, there's benefits, but like there's also players like Crimsix. They're not getting paid 50K a year. Like you got to be able to pay for the best players. That's
Right.
how this
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
Right. So I guess the question is, would you get a spot and take this journey, start this journey?
Nah. I mean, I have like I could provide like a million reasons why not. Like the whole
Go
reason
ahead.
this off of the top, like the reason why they were allowed to charge such a high fucking rate for this is because of how successful the Overwatch League was. Because I'm pretty sure the like Overwatch League cost like $25 million the first year they did it, and they did like 80 million in revenue, which was like ridiculous. But it was also a much more popular game at the time when they started that. It was a game built to be competitive. Like the game revolves around its competitive scene, like League, unlike Call of Duty, where like 90% of the community is not a competitive gamer.
Right.
No,
Think-
yeah,
like
that's fair.
the
think-
viewership just isn't there. I don't understand why they think they like have the audacity to charge this amount.
Well, they want to
Right.
give off the facade that they are still a big, group that can charge that amount. If they don't do that, no one will want to invest in it, Why would you invest in something that clearly is failing? It doesn't
I
make
don't
sense.
understand it. I think it's for some people it's like a legend, like a person like Hastro, like he's obligated to buy a spot in the
Yeah, it's
franchise
like a
because his
childhood.
organization was built around that. And like
Yeah.
Optic too, but obviously they have had
Well,
some
he tried
challenges,
Yes,
though, and
uncertainty.
Optic.
you
No, yeah,
prove
he
it with
did
that.
try. He literally tried to buy the company back, and they were like, nah.
Yeah,
They're like, screw them.
yeah. The reason behind like them not giving it was so petty. Like as a businessman, like just to not give it back over to Hex.
This is making me sweat. I can't wear
So,
this.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do is like it's sort of they're artificially injecting a lot of money into it, hoping that if everyone else buys in, it will pay out. But the thing is Overwatch has done the exact same thing, and I think a most recent report that I saw from like Thorin or someone Thorin retweeted, if y'all know who Thorin is, it was like Overwatch League is still not making money like right now. Like they are not
Literally
actually
nothing in esports is making money.
like they're
it's
not
very-
making revenue. And think about the buy-in for the Overwatch League. Yo, Joey with the host, real shit, Joey. Real shit. I saw Joey playing Modern Warfare and screaming because he was dying. So that was nice.
I just think it's like a last-ditch attempt to legitimize esports, like given the space we're in,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
especially with its recent growth, like people need to take it seriously. And it's been like esports has a history of kind of not being organized, despite how successful it was. So it's kind of like COD is a classic game. Everyone loves COD. Like, what
Mhm.
can we do with it?
Right.
I just don't think it's
Yeah.
going anywhere. To be fair.
No. Yeah, and it's like I said, back to the childhood thing. It's like people that watch it and are still like avid fans of Call of Duty and like the league, they're holding on to it no matter how bad it looks, like viewership wise, revenue wise. They're trying to hold on to it as long as they can. I was the biggest Call of Duty fan. Like
Bro, so
Roman
was
Height,
I.
you guys know.
Yeah.
Yo, I
Like,
was there with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan. Like when everyone was switching to CS:GO, Roman, you remember me on the TL defending 100 people. That COD's still relevant. COD's still relevant.
And I was still like I was switching to CS:GO, and I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I couldn't. But now, dude, I can't support that game. It's trash, dude. Like they don't care about it. Like didn't the zombies match just come out? Or the new zombies map just come out, and like people are pissed because like the
Oh,
ending
yeah.
was so disappointing. Like
He
Yeah.
also
you can tell they don't care about the true competitive like gamers that play that game anymore. They just care about keeping a fan base of like the general population.
Mhm.
They don't
also
care how it
microtransactions
does.
never used to matter in COD, and now they do.
Yeah, now they do.
Yeah, and the matter like it seems like that's the trend for every game now. Like any game has microtransactions to a point, and it's sad that like Call of Duty took it a step further when they added what was it, in Advanced Warfare, when you could buy guns that were like more overpowered if you bought the Call of Duty points.
Was it AW
Wasn't
that did that?
Peacekeeper the first gun that was like that?
Well,
Black
like the
Ops 2?
Peacekeeper wasn't like
Yeah.
OP.
It wasn't broken, but
Yeah.
like
No, they
at some
balanced
points
it.
it
Actually,
was a good gun.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah,
better
right
than
away
it
it
was,
was.
you know.
Yeah, it was a
very
hybrid.
good. Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
that wasn't the game changing thing. Like having one gun that you could buy.
They already had
it
the
was banned and
FAL, they
competitive.
had the
That's
M8.
it. Yeah, everything that
right.
was overpowered they fixed. But then they started like that. Then it started getting excessive. Like you unlock the dopest like case, and you can just shit on everyone in the lobby. Like, why does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. So, I mean,
I'm not
personally,
saying it's not. I'm looking at chat right now. He says it didn't have any special effects, but like the Peacekeeper was just in general like a strong gun. Like when
But
it
it
came out,
but it
and it was
made
only
money.
available
I
to
think that
people
was
who
the
purchased it.
stepping stone. Yeah. It was the stepping stone. When they realized they could make money off of new little in-game purchases like that, like buying the thing that gives you the Peacekeeper, or is that what it's called, the Peacekeeper? Yeah. That's when they realized, okay, we can throw this into Call of Duty as long as we don't push the limit. And they did
Well,
that anyways.
yeah.
Also, like Fortnite kind of changed the game a little bit when they realized it doesn't matter. Like people will play your game if it's good or bad, but you're gonna make money if they like playing it and keep coming back. Because Fortnite's a free game and it's like the highest grossing video game in the world. Like that's
Oh yeah. It
the
doesn't
two things don't like correlate, which is why I think like charging for $60 for a game and then $50 for an expansion, like it's not the right way to maintain like having fans, and that's the reason why Call of Duty hasn't been so successful. People
Yeah.
got tired of paying $100 a year for the game.
I agree.
for disappointment, dude. If I want to be disappointed, I'll go to dinner with my
Okay. All right. But yeah, I think we're all in consensus. We would not. If we had the opportunity, we would not get a spot in the Call of Duty League.
No.
Yeah.
There's just no basis to make it worth it, and we haven't seen anything to like show that your investment would even be close to worth it. So hopefully, I would
I
like
wanna
to be
be
proven
wrong.
wrong. I would
Yeah.
love to be
Yeah.
proven wrong because like that's something I think would be pretty cool to see succeed. You know, Overwatch is doing okay. Obviously, it's not completely profitable,
Mhm.
but they're getting there. They're working towards it. So it's like, yeah, why not?
Right.
Hopefully,
No, yeah.
Call of Duty is a pretty standard game. They just need to keep stop fucking it up every
Yeah,
year.
What
like
do you
Call of
guys
Duty.
think of the beta? What do you
I
guys
like.
think of it?
I played the
I played a
beta.
couple games. It felt like COD. That's all I gotta say. Like
Yeah.
I
the maps
hated
were
it.
not.
I'm not
The
gonna
maps
lie.
were. The maps were awful. The time
Yeah.
to kill was way too fast. Like you can't even turn around before dying. But I just think
Okay,
like
we're on the
in
same
general
page.
sense, like it it looked slash felt like COD.
Oh no,
Yeah,
yeah, the movement was good, but the time to kill, I complained about that a lot. And I also didn't like that the maps they gave us right off the bat were the ones where there was 50 different lanes to be shot from. But I think that's just because they were the ground war maps, so they didn't really care about lanes in those
Mhm.
maps. Uh,
I didn't even play Ground War. I just queued for like a couple pub matches and like I didn't know what
yeah,
was going on.
no,
I just shoot people.
Ground
I
War
can't remember.
was
I just quick
Ground War
match.
was absolutely cancer, but like I think Ground War should like be included in like its own section of the game. Like it's completely different. It's like completely
it's like in
different
League. They have
experience.
different game modes like that are
Yeah.
fun for a
Yeah.
limited time. Like
Like,
Ground War should be one of those.
Yeah, it was a genuinely completely different experience than like the normal pubs.
I
And from
low
the
key think Ground War is like to try and bridge the gap between COD and Battlefield.
1000%. And it was actually
Yeah.
pretty terrible because like the other team would always, or just in general, they would always try to get advantage of the hill, like strategy wise, get the mountain advantage.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, they would just take all the tanks up there and then just rain missiles down on the entire map from like anywhere.
yeah.
So it was actually
You guys-
really ridiculous.
Did you guys play the Ground War they had in World War II? It was the worst Ground War ever.
No.
don't
I
even
gave
remember
up
what it
on
was
World
called.
War II pretty quick.
only
Oh, I know what
played
you're
it-
talking about. That team war shit, or
Oh my god,
Or
it
like
was
when
horrendous.
you'd capture one place and it'd move you closer to it in the map, and then you had
Yep.
to like go.
Yeah, like it was like King of the Hill, but every time you have
I
to like
like that, but there
capture.
was no.
It was
cave.
fun, but it just didn't make sense. Like some of these maps, like you just never win.
No, you couldn't. If you're on one side, you lost. Like defense on one of the maps. I can't remember, but like you had such a big advantage, especially if you were on the side with the turrets. Like you could just mow people down. I know. I'd go like on 30 kill streaks easy with that shit. Not a fun game mode.
Yeah. I didn't like
This
World
kid-
War II that much.
This kid said, "Do you guys think they were testing Ground War for BR?" Nah, I think they would have just like came like you can't really test
makes-
BR. Like it
that
doesn't.
makes
It
zero
makes
sense.
sense because it's like a little bigger, but it doesn't make sense
Yeah.
because it's a completely different concept. Like if
I
they were
think they were
testing BR,
testing-
they would have copied Blackout's model because Blackout
Oh yeah.
is like not a
Mhm.
bad
Mhm.
game at all.
Yeah, people will literally
People
play.
still play Blackout.
Right. They only play
I mean,
Black
like,
Ops
they'll
4
play it
for Blackout.
just for Blackout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, like, you know, what can you do? Like, it's just
Mhm.
not made for.
No, they were
VR,
testing
it's
if
COD.
COD fans would enjoy that big of groups of people. They weren't testing anything to do with like Blackout. They could care less.
Right.
They just wanted to see if they could implement 30v30 without people bitching.
It was
about
so like the thing is Call of Duty fans will always like have a unique play style compared to other like people, like just general pub kids.
Oh,
And
yeah,
it was
yeah.
just so much camping. It was just so
No,
bad.
and that wasn't just in Ground War. That was in every game mode.
Oh, yeah, it was-
I
it was-
felt like
it was in every
very
game.
campy. That was another thing. I died more to people in corners on this game with claymores than like any person. Like claymores were very rewarding in this beta.
I was watching White Boy 7th Street like it was 20 like it's
People watch
fucking
What the hell?
yeah,
is
like
this?
it's 2014,
16
like it's
years ago?
2014, exactly, 2013, 2012. I was watching My Boy 7th Street, and literally this man would go on the roof of a building, and I saw him put up 3 claymores in like a minute. Like he was just putting claymores all over the roof, and I'm just like, bro, what are you, like, why?
It worked, probably.
Yeah, it
You know what's
worked
like a
because he got a
Twitter
gunship and everything. I'm like, okay, man.
There was
Like,
a
I
Reddit
should have
clip
been
of-
doing this.
Yo, somebody put a claymore on an RC XD or whatever, like
What?
in the beta.
Oh,
or
they put-
whatever. Like they. Had,
Oh yeah,
like,
there was a
drone or
recon. Yeah,
something.
yeah, recon drone.
Yeah, like I didn't play enough to like know what I'm talking about, but I just saw the clip and it was
Yeah.
like a claymore like on the drone.
was
and
pretty
somebody
funny.
Just like instantly got imploded.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It's like
Like what they did was it was like a recon
Shouldn't
drone.
happen.
It's like if you shoot the recon drone one time, I think with any gun, it's dead. Like it's that fragile. And they just put a claymore on it and literally just ram the recon drone into somebody and they'll just blow up. It was, and the thing is like that's not even that like terrible because you literally have to shoot the recon drone once with any gun at any range, and it's gone. So it was
Oh,
pretty.
that's not bad.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was pretty hilarious to see it actually work though, because of how fragile it is. I don't know. It was pretty great. All right.
I think you good. Yeah, I was about to say, go for it.
All right. The next topic is let's get the Super Bowl out the way. So, Roman, we'll start with you. Super Bowl predictions.
New York Giants, baby.
Hey, real shit. Eli
Let's go.
Manning.
Yeah, Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes gonna bring him back.
Nah, bro. Manning got
I'll
this.
rep New York no matter how hard it is.
Danny Dimes, he looks good though. 4 touchdowns. Came back from what? They were down 28-10. It's pretty impressive,
Mhm.
especially
Free
for a
cash.
rookie to just be thrown in. That
Okay.
was he got NFC Player of the Week, Air Player of the Week, Air Player of the Week.
My
But oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you got it. You got it. Yeah, you finished.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think it's definitely gonna be the Patriots or the Chiefs on the AFC. I'm a diehard Texans fan. I mean, everybody knows that.
We
but,
all know that.
But let's be honest, man. No one has the firepower the Chiefs do, and no one has the coaching that the Patriots do. The only team that has the coaching close enough and the firepower is the Chiefs, and they've lost every time against the Patriots to go to anywhere. So it'll be the Patriots, and I'm gonna say the Vikings in the NFC. I think if the Kirk Cousins can get going, they've got their run. They've got 2 wide receiver ones on their team, and they've got the defense. They've got the defense, man. That's huge. Their defense is incredible. If
Go-
Cousins can just not fuck up, they can win.
Right. Going back
Aren't
to
the Rams mad good too? Sorry.
Nah,
like,
they're not that good this year.
all I know is because like you guys know how like I used to be mad into daily fantasy sports. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
I've never like
Yes.
religiously followed sports as a fan, but I always used to like pay attention to specific players so I would know what to do. Anyways, I think not last 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons
Last
ago,
year-
the,
last
the
year they were
Rams
good.
the Rams had an insane like season, and
They
it was
went to
just
the
like
Super Bowl last year.
I don't know. It's kind of funny to me as like a non-fan to see a team do so well, and then just like the next year they just fall.
Yeah,
off the
it's
face
pretty
of the
weird.
earth.
They're not bad. They're actually 3-0 right now. But the teams they've played are really on the edge, and they were down to the last play against, right? They beat the Browns literally on the goal line to go to overtime. The Browns fucked up. They handed that game to the Rams. They ran a draw on 4th and 9. Who runs a draw in the first place on 9 yards to go on a 4th down? And then they barely beat Cam Newton's Panthers. Like, is his name Kyle Allen? I think Kyle Allen, the backup. He looks way better. I don't think they'd beat that team. And then they beat the Saints. No, yeah, they beat the Saints, but they had Bridgewater and Drew Brees was injured halfway through. So I don't even know if I count.
I guess 2 things I want to say real quick. Going back to the Giants, the only thing I hate about the Giants is how the coach took out Eli Manning when he was so close to breaking a record for like most consecutive games started. Do you guys remember that? It was like years ago. Yeah, he was so close to breaking that record, and the coach took him out for 1 game. And I don't even know if it was the full game. I think he put him back in at halftime or something. I just remember that. Like every time they talk about anything Giants, I just remember that. It makes me so mad. And
I
then
would be, like,
Was
really
it? Who was it? It
an
was
Eli fan.
who they put in? Was it Smith?
yeah, that's what
Geno
Casey's saying.
Smith.
Geno Smith, like. And the thing is, I don't care how bad someone's playing. If they're about to break a record from playing, all right, you let them break the record. All right.
Yeah, just let him start. And sit him.
Yeah. And then the second thing is everyone was just talking in chat about how they're only gonna watch Super Bowl for halftime show. So I guess that's a good prediction.
The halftime show.
Beyonce, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Beyonce
it's
and J
people
Lo.
that should have been in the halftime show 16 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. I don't understand how they
Lopez
always
and-
manage to mess this up.
Lopez.
Like,
No, it's not Beyonce. It's Lopez and.
Oh, it's not
J-Lo.
Beyonce?
I don't know why I thought Beyonce.
J-
It's J Lo.
J-
Yeah.
Lopez and
it's
who's the other
someone
one?
without-
Shakira, right? It's Shakira.
Shakira. Okay, word.
Dude, yeah, they both look like they're 20, but they're actually 70 years old. So
Yeah.
I don't know why they're still performing.
All I know is Shakira has had the best performance out of any sporting event for one of the World Cups ever. All right, ever. I already forgot which World Cup it is. I want to say 2014, or
I don't
maybe
watch that shit.
I don't
But
know.
did you see Adam Levine at the halftime show?
No.
He was
What,
looking
Super
so
Bowl
good
last
when
year?
he took his shirt off.
That was last year, right?
I was joking. Do you know how many people said that? They're like, "Oh my god, I'm fucking Levine."
Hold the phone.
Hold up.
All right. Next topic. The
Let's
influx.
encompass the everybody monetizing off of their gaming platform / selling merch thing. Let's do that all
Oh
at once.
yes. Okay. So we're combining everyone dropping merch and OnlyFans. Is that right? Are we putting that all in one
Not
topic?
also well. Oh, you like
No,
kind
I
of
don't
hopped
think
out of
they're
the room.
comparable.
Richie and I were talking about how there's like 1,000 different types of game fuel now, like
Oh
gamer
yes,
drinks.
yes.
Like all of this thing, like everyone finding like vast
Mhm.
That's a
ways
good
to
thing though.
monetize their platform is getting like a little oversaturated.
Yes.
That's good for the consumer though.
That is good.
For the
That's good.
consumer.
That's good for the gamer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good for that's good for someone like I don't know, someone that buys 70 freaking pounds of that shit a year.
Right. I like the idea from G Fuel to make the cans.
I love that idea,
That's a
but
very good business move.
they're
Very
expensive
solid.
as fuck though, so it's
Yeah.
also a bad business move.
Wait, we're
But they're
talking about
still
G
good.
Fuel isn't like regular G Fuel,
Yeah,
not
G
game
Yeah,
Fuel.
yeah,
fuel.
yeah, yeah. They
Yeah,
have
G
like they took their powder and put it into a drink, like an actual like
Soda.
pre-mixed
Yeah.
soda can. Well, it's more like an energy drink
Yeah,
size.
yeah.
And you can buy like 4 for like $20 with shipping. It's
Mhm.
What?
ridiculous.
But the
And
thing
I
it's
think
is,
like,
they probably did this because like Mountain Dew stepped into the game, like
yeah, I
fuel
saw
with
that.
by
Mhm.
doing exactly that, like with the
yeah,
canned drinks. But
Yeah, but
Mountain
there's
Dew
a
is like a
reasonable
drink
price.
company, and they like yeah, they can produce it for next to nothing.
right.
Like G
Yeah.
Fuel is like a mom and pop company. People don't necessarily realize that this because of like how big their online presence is. It's literally run by like
Like
a very small amount
someone
of
in New
people.
York or
Right.
some shit,
No,
right?
they're
Yeah.
the CEO and his wife live in Long Island. Like they run their business out of their house pretty much, and
Yeah.
all of their shipping gets handled externally, like at a warehouse. It's like I don't know. It's just to me, it's kind of like it's like sad to see that all these other like Mountain Dew and like now Razor has a drink. I think.
Yeah,
Do
I
they?
saw
Like,
that.
Wow.
are you serious? Why does Razor like think they can make energy drinks? And
Yeah.
it's just like, how many drinks do we need? And they're all bad for you.
Well, I don't know if that matters to the
It
average
does
gamer.
not matter to
No,
the
it definitely
gamer,
doesn't matter to
but
the average gamer.
it's gonna come down to which one tastes the best. Honestly, that's
Yeah,
about
but
it.
there's that's like
That's honestly.
anything could taste the best to anyone. It's just a
Yeah,
matter of
no,
your
yeah,
like who you
that's
are.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no
subjective.
way these companies are gonna like put each other on top of one another without like partnering up with streamers. That's why G Fuel has been the biggest company for a long time, because
Mhm.
they are literally in business with the entire community.
Yeah,
Right.
but they're not. Are they? Do they have a foot in a lot of G like sponsors anymore? I think PewDiePie
Bro,
was huge.
PewDiePie like put them on the like well, G Fuel's been on the map for a while, but
No,
like
I know what you mean. Like
they became the
globally,
standard when PewDiePie like
he
fucking
still, dude. He got that sponsorship. Probably only had to do one video of it. Honestly, dude. Every video he makes a joke about like sipping a G Fuel. Every video.
you know how
Like
much that
he,
dude he probably makes bank just to say that.
I
Yeah.
know. You know what? Honestly, he'd be the guy I could see doesn't every video. He's just that good of a guy. Like he's genuinely a really good guy. I
I
could
could
see
also.
him
Yeah, I
doing
could
that
see that.
joking.
Yeah.
Well, I heard, according to Brad, his editor used to be editor, that PewDiePie just genuinely enjoys the drink, so he like always is drinking it. It's unironic. Like he doesn't do it as a
Oh.
sponsor. Like he actually
I mean,
really
he
likes
probably
them.
is sponsored by them, but he probably chose to be
Oh
sponsored
no,
by
he
them
is.
because of how
He
much
yeah
he liked. Like
yeah.
it's the same for when you see like large athletes or successful people, like generally they tend to like go into business with brands that they like because
That's a
that's
good
who
thing
they'd want to
because
be
some
doing a
people
business
don't
with.
do that. Yeah.
No, that's a really like that's great, but then like there's people who don't, but it's better for the industry. Like if someone actually like enjoys, and I guess like what's like I'm a complete loss for the word right now, but like they indulge themselves in that specific whatever it
Yeah,
is. Like
yeah.
you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm. All
I
right.
don't know.
Let's
That
like.
and the merch is
Oh
getting out of
yes.
hand.
Let's talk about the
I don't
merch.
I don't mind. Okay, I'm not gonna call out anyone in the community ever, but I don't
No,
mind supporting like our friend group. That's cool. But
Yeah.
everyone that's a streamer
yo,
has merch nowadays.
Yes.
Everyone.
it's because a long time ago when content creation first became a thing, when Twitch and YouTube first coming on the map, one YouTube actually used to pay real money, like money you could live off of. If you had a couple 100,000 subscribers, you could
Oh, dude.
fully make an income off of that. And now it's nothing of the same. And Twitch is there's room to make a lot of income, but then again, not so much. You can't just rely off of one thing. So as the world progresses, people find more ways to monetize their platform, and everyone has come to the conclusion that this is the easiest way to make money. And it is awful because I'm not gonna buy a shirt from all 440 people I follow on Twitter.
Yes. Yeah.
No.
And I agree. I mean,
If you have something going, like if you're working on something and you're building your network and your brand, go for it. But
Dude,
if
I'm
you're
not
just
gonna
gonna
lie.
start selling merch, you have like you're lost along the way. You got the steps out of order. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I support my friends, but I don't think I'll ever be able to like I guess like consciously purchase one of the like my friends' merch because I feel like even at the time when the mob first sold their merch, they were warranted to like have merch. Like that's like so I kind of wanted to buy it, but I ended up actually getting Mako actually bought me both merch drops, which was
A
super
word.
nice of him.
Yeah.
But like even then, like I had a hard time buying it because I wasn't sure where it was going, like where they were going. So I was like, I'm gonna buy this merch. No one's gonna know what it is. It's gonna look goofy, and then well, I mean, you know, at least it's my friends though. So I was like, all right, whatever. And then I ended up getting it. But like after that, Jack, I thought that was cool that Jack's like blew up. I know he was just doing it as like
Yeah, but
something
his was kind
fun.
of like a meme. Like
Yeah,
his
yeah,
shirt,
something
like,
yeah.
fun. It was
that's
cool.
that's funny, but
The-
like he wasn't trying to like just sell merch just to sell merch. Like
Yeah, he made it for like next to nothing. Like I think he made one of the
Yeah, it was
like
almost
cheapest.
free.
Yeah, the cheapest option he could have made it because he
he
was
used
making
the
like
money
no
to
money
buy
from
other
it.
people's merch, I think, or something. But like,
Yeah.
I feel like some people have ill intention with it. Like they know they have a decent base, so they just do it for strict profit, and I really don't like that.
Yeah.
Like the Boza Club, theirs was almost free too, right? I'm pretty sure. Like they did it just for fun. Like I like that. That's cool.
Mhm.
There's I don't care. I don't remember the design on it, but they did it for. That's when I don't mind it. But some people genuinely try to like make it an actual brand, and they've got like maybe 500 subs on Twitch or something. It's like, come on, man. You
Yeah.
should really focus your time on something better.
And
Like,
I guess
I
like
also-
one criteria
keep
for
going.
me is like I sort of like it. For example, if I need a jacket and then one of my friends is like, okay, I'm not selling this merch. Like for example, the mob hoodie. It's like word, I'll get that jacket. But like I live in Texas, so whenever they came out with that first drop, which was predominantly like heavy clothes, and oh yeah, they came out with one shirt, but it was a black shirt, and I literally told Frosty, I'm like, I am in Texas. If I wear this black shirt, I will melt on the sidewalk. Like I will melt on the sidewalk. And then the next drop, they came out with the white one. So I'm like, bet. So I got the white shirt because it was actually
because I was at work.
in January, like this year January, I had almost all like dark colored shirts, like, and I mean that by like dark blue, light blue, like
Yeah.
just different shades of blue.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's
for the
me.
most part.
I like
Shirts
dark
that
shirt.
will not absorb the heat.
Right.
Will absorb the heat, right?
No,
Darker
will not. Yeah,
absorb the heat?
I mean, darker absorbs the heat, but I had like
You know what I'm
predominant.
trying to
Yeah. I had like predominantly blue, and I would literally get on stream and they would say, "Oh, look, it's hiding with another blue shirt. Nice. Is that the 7th shirt you have?" I'm like, actually, yeah, it is.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I
So-
wear a sweatshirt of this like Descent little logo dark shirt
Mhm.
like every stream. Not because like I wear the same clothes, but because like all my sweatshirts are like dark colored, and I always wear a sweatshirt in my apartment because I always keep it really
Mhm.
like cool.
So-
I feel you.
So whenever they dropped all this merch, I was like looking, and I was like, okay, bet that's a light colored shirt. That's a light colored shirt. Like I got 2 of Jack's dog with pants on shirts because it was one in white and one in yellow, and you know it's like sort of like a back and forth. It's like you offer things that I sort of need,
He asked
and
for
it's just
my
like
hat,
I got you. So that was
All right, it's a sad day in hell, guys. Check this out. I had this hat so long it broke.
oh
No.
word.
I can never wear this. Look
That-
how gross
that's an
this
F.
is. Like the lettering's like yellow. So
F.
old.
That's an F in
I've
chat.
had it for 5.5 years. That hat is 5.5 years old, and I will
Jesus.
never wear it again. A buddy bought me that for
Yo.
like school. Randomly.
Off topic, honest opinion on this bag though. It's kind of
What is it? Just a gym bag or
It's
what?
just like it's like a gym bag.
Yeah, it looks
Not
nice.
bad.
Looks
Sweet.
good.
Here.
Like the red and the blue. America.
Yeah, here.
All right.
Anywho, yeah, I don't really agree with like everyone dropping merch. I think there needs to be good intention, and lately there hasn't been.
And also,
Yeah.
you like sort of it needs to be good intention and uniqueness, and not just like, oh, it's my logo that's unique.
And wearable,
It's like,
Yeah, no,
wearable.
these
No.
all we're like basically if you look at the last 10 minutes, it sounds like we're hating on people dropping merch. Not gonna lie, like it sounds like we're
Right.
being pretty harsh. That is not the case.
mhm.
It just needs to be
We
warranted.
love
You
our
need to have
friends.
incentive. You need to have like a community and a fan base that's willing to buy it, and you can't just like if you just don't have like anything going and you're just dropping merch just to drop merch, like come on,
Yeah,
keep it real. Like let's not do that.
yeah, for sure. Like,
And I will always support
like
my
if
friend.
I try to like drop merch right
Same.
now, one I have no idea what I would do because I don't even have a logo or anything, and I wouldn't find any sort of unique factor for it. You know, like I wouldn't. I feel like you sort of have to have like a unique factor to it, as well as
Yeah.
like I think like didn't Jack come out with like dog with pants socks? Wasn't that a thing? Like, did they
Yeah, okay. There came a
that was
time to
pretty
draw the
funny.
line.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, to me though, there came a time to draw the line. Like the backpack, like I feel like I like Jack, so I'm not hating on Jack.
Yeah.
I just feel like after the shirt and the socks, I thought the socks were like you're wearing, dog with I don't know, it was the meme.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, come on, like what's the point of a backpack?
I don't know. I mean, if you go by like what people want, like I'm sure someone said, "Can I get a backpack?"
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
exactly probably what
Yeah,
happened.
that's
Okay,
honestly
fine.
what
I'm
happened.
sure that's what happened because he probably didn't think, all right, this merch is gonna be hilarious. Let me
Let's
make
put it
that
on a
Yeah,
backpack.
let's put a backpack on there.
No. Someone might have, but
Alright.
It was me.
there comes a time to draw the
I
line.
bought the backpack.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
No.
So segueing into merch, which is pretty profitable given your margins and how much you put in there, like you make it cost, to
Like,
the
I'm sure
most
Embo's
profitable
is making
thing.
money off of his merch. Just
Yes.
putting that out there.
Yeah, Embo's like the Rich and Lonely series, which I think is okay, that is a series that I'm not like a big fan
I think
of.
it's viable. I just don't understand. All right, no
I
hate.
would comment, but
Time out,
he has
time
to be
out.
blocked on all
I'm
platforms.
commenting right now. No hate. I don't understand how he has like a full-time designer working on these shirts and comes out with like 3 words on a black print. Come on, dude. This guy,
Yeah.
like, yo.
How does he
it's
afford
cool.
that?
I bang with the movement, but like, you gotta do better, bro.
Bro,
Like, it
I'm
just.
not even hating. Like, how can you afford that? What's he do?
I don't
still
know.
to this day, man, like there's 2 things I want to know. What happens after you die, and what Embos did for Optic the last 7 years.
Yeah, no, I'm
Like,
potato
Oh,
Like,
right.
it's his friend that's making it, but his friend is Create, is Optic Create. He's a designer. He's a full-time designer. He's created like a magnitude of projects that are like
no, he's good.
beautiful.
Good.
He's amazing at what he does,
Mhm.
and he comes out with shirts, rich and lonely. Like, come on,
With a
bro.
teddy bear. With a teddy bear. Don't forget it. Don't forget the teddy bear, man. Come
man.
on.
Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Mercy told him to rig his giveaway, and Mercy won.
Like, bro, the thing is Embo's like back then and to this day does not help his case. Whenever people ask him, "What do you do?"
Oh, I got this.
He
Look,
will-
I'm
okay,
interrupting.
you got it. You got
Bro,
it.
I want to know
tweeted
how
him.
he stayed in optics so long, like
Bro,
with such an inactive presence. Like,
Mhm.
that's how. All right. Anywho,
No, I fully
he-
think
he-
it's because he made a deal when he was like on the come up streaming and doing YouTube with the team.
Yeah,
he made
exactly.
a
It
deal
was
for equity in the
taking-
company, ran a fat check on the optic.
Well,
kid.
yeah, okay, because I was like, he tweeted one day, 2 years ago, a year ago, whenever I made this account, and I tweeted at him, like, really genuinely, like, it wasn't to be mean. Like, he was like, my parents still don't support what I do, fuck them or something, and I was like, well, dude, no hate, but, like, what do you do? Like, if someone was to ask you right now what you do, what is it? And he said, how about we fucking compare bank statements, bro? Then what? And I was like, what, dude? And then he blocked me. I'm not even kidding. Like,
Oh man,
he said that and then blocked me. I was like, all right, bro. Like,
bro, the dude will just snap like just attack anyone that asks a question in that realm.
but
of
doesn't that make you
thinking.
feel like he genuinely didn't have?
Yeah,
a role?
it just
Also-
reinforces what you're like thinking and questioning.
From his perspective, wouldn't you want to like be able to tell people what you do? Like, you're in such
Exactly.
a
No, I
like,
think
you're in a
that's why his
position that
parents
people
didn't
would kill to
support
be
him.
in, and you're basically like telling people to fuck off when they ask you what you do. Like,
exactly.
bro,
Right.
people like there's thousands of people out there that spend like hours and hours like playing COD or grinding content creation just to like have a chance to get put in one of these orgs, and Embo's just there doing jack shit. So like, not only like it's okay to be there and like not have the same motivation to create the same amount of content every day because it is a lot, but like, dude, he's just not playing it cool. Like he kind of just like
Yeah, he did.
sits around and just like shits on people who question him. Like, bro, we're all just fans. Like, we just want to know what
Mhm.
you're doing. Like, that's the end of the day. Like,
Right.
that's it. Like, there's
So
no
he,
reason to like just kind of like
like, and
venture
the
away
thing
from
is
what
like
we're
he was
doing.
very.
So what now for him though, right? They're done,
Is,
aren't they?
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
like
he's
it's just.
obviously trying to get on a COD team now.
Oh
Is
yes,
he?
yes. That's what he. Yeah, that's
He
what
said
he did.
he literally tweeted, "I'll be Mr. Game 2 and 5 if I
Wait,
don't
so
care."
does that mean we were all right? The speculation was right that he was just in Hex's
I mean,
back
the
pocket.
thing is like Optic in general was cutting content creators, like just in general. Like the once they got bought out, they were just started cutting people, and most of them were content creators. So even if he was, I think even if he was grinding out content, which he wasn't or isn't,
Oh, he's grinding out
Sometimes he
some
streams.
content.
Sometimes, like sometimes you stream and he has like
Behind the scenes.
almost 1K viewers, but then it's like he won't stream again for 2 weeks.
right. So even if he was like grinding stuff out like the entire time, I think he would have eventually still gotten kicked out because that's just the route that. Wait, who bought them out? EG? No.
No, Immortals and
Immortals.
no, it was Infinite and then Immortals. So like,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
it was a
Immortals.
sequence of events.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, going
they didn't
from
buy him out.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's like
I want to know, like, what about Rallied? Like, he's been on Optic this whole time. Like, he got picked up even like a year ago.
He had a pretty good stream going. I'm sure he's
Mhm.
fine.
No,
To be
he
honest.
still has. He's still like one of the
Yeah.
few relevant COD streamers. But it's like,
Yeah.
People actually are
out
excited
in like
to
the
watch
mix
him.
of like content creators they lost on the way.
right.
Rallied is like one of the people that's still here. Like, I just didn't see him like above like Courage. Well, Courage left for like branding reasons. Like there was deals that he wanted that he couldn't
No,
take
Courage
because
is
Optic
Courage
was like
took
not
off.
allowing him to take them. Well, that's because he grew larger than Optic's brand. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1000%. So moving from merch, which can be a cash cow, to the biggest cash cow on the internet right now that we can all agree on, OnlyFans. OnlyFans. Everyone and their mom has them. I think some person in our community made one and made $1,000 in like a day or something. So.
Son, I'll be looking at you.
Wait, who?
Nothing.
Call him out. Who was it? I want to know.
No, it wasn't Cerna, dude.
No,
You
I'm
don't
kidding.
know
Oh,
how fast
are you
it's
saying-
No,
valid.
I mean
was it
the
Cerna's-
person. I know Cerna's buying them.
So
Bro, Richie, look at the Discord chat.
Okay.
who would like to kick things off? I think isn't Kinsey's OnlyFans $25? George, confirm or deny? George is in chat, and he is the biggest Kinsey stan in all of human history. Isn't it
And he probably
$25?
actually bought it. He bought it for sure.
No doubt. Bro, I mean, I just think like
It's a cash
all
grab.
I'm
dude.
saying is,
It is a cash grab.
dude, all I'm saying is I know a ridiculous amount of guys who have said, and I quote, if I was a girl, I would have like I wouldn't give a fuck. Like I'd be a thought. I would do all this stuff. So the fact that the girls are out there doing things that all these guys claim they would do if they were girls and getting hate for it is kind of ridiculous. But like me personally as a human being, I would never pay for something like
Yes.
that. Like I can't bring myself to
Did
do
you
something
see the
like that.
argument? What do you guys think about the argument that why would you pay for an OnlyFans when you can get porn for free? What do you think about that
No,
argument?
and it's
do you
not.
agree with it?
A lot of it is
It's
not like
personalized.
yeah, it's personalized. Like
Mhm.
you follow like say let's use Laura Lux as an example. This is a great example. Like we're not going to talk bad about her in any way, but like
Mhm.
people follow her on Instagram because she's like bad. Like obviously people are going to follow her. People are fans of her because she's game. Like she's loves gaming. She's a hot girl. That's right there. You're already set. She has tattoos, which a lot of people like, and like she's really good looking. So people are going to pay for that. She's like a figure that people want to see. They're interested in
Yeah,
seeing
they
something
don't
like
care
that.
about some
But
used
like
and abused random girl on Pornhub.
exactly. So some girls have like established themselves as that type of personality. That's their niche. But like, bro, if your girl is just gonna wake up one morning and be like, I'm selling nudes, like I'm not. Well,
Would I
any
be
girl,
upset?
I wouldn't be
I'm
upset, but like I'm never gonna buy that. That's not something I'm ever
If
gonna
my
invest in.
girlfriend
Like,
made an OnlyFans, I would be her #1 subscriber.
I am the
But
opposite.
break up with her.
I am the exact opposite. If she
You
made
would.
OnlyFans,
I'm
Like-
not dating her if she has OnlyFans.
yeah, I'm not.
wait, well, what if she went by you first? And like,
And she
bro,
asked.
that's easy money.
Bro, Richard, you don't see like somewhere along the line like half of like the fantasy about having a girl is that it's your girl. Nobody else gets your girl. Like why
Well,
would you
yeah,
want
but
your
they
girl
just get a
posting
picture of her
pictures
body. I like
herself?
my
Just
girlfriend
a
for more
picture.
than her body. Like,
Bro,
I
you
think
think-
she's a good
Dude, are you
person.
seeing what these girls are offering on OnlyFans now? It's like personalized videos of them like masturbating, like.
Yeah, it
basically.
goes way
Hey,
further.
Emma's gotta chase the bag, man. Emma's gotta chase
Oh,
the bag.
man.
I don't know.
Bro, I know
But-
she's sitting right behind you, like while you're saying.
Bro,
that.
the funny
I was
thing,
still saying it. I
Bro.
told her she could.
bro, I don't know if I ever told you this, Richie, but the funniest thing was like, I think there were like 2 Emmas in the community who like cheated on their boyfriends at Rocket League events or something, right?
Yeah.
There's like
Can't bring Emma
JHB.
to any Rocket League.
Yeah, and the thing is I'm like, man, I can't trust any of these Emmas. Like, I can't trust any Emma in general. And then Richie's like, yeah, I'm dating this girl. Her name's Emma. And I was just like, oh my god, someone warn him. Someone help this man out. It's a trap.
Nah, I don't. Okay, I don't. I don't care. It's not my body. I can't really tell what to do with it.
Mhm.
Obviously, every guy always said if they had tits or whatever, they would do whatever. But do they really mean it? Like, they're not that person, right? Like, they're just speculating.
Like,
So
I
guess
would,
if you're
I
in that
would
position-
not.
Yo,
I would not.
Like guys and girls are so different, like mentally and like genetically. Like you can't even think from a girl's perspective. Like if you
No,
try.
exactly.
You can try to like think about these like societal pressures on them, but even then
Yo,
it's
the
extremely
full thing.
difficult. It's extremely difficult to
It
like
dep-
even
I think
imagine.
it's like I disagree. Like, I think it's dumb that people make OnlyFans, but at the same time, I'm not them, and I don't know like how it would affect them or not. Like some people like that. I don't know. Whatever girl you said, that's her persona, right? Like to be like on as like an identity in that part of the community, right? Like that's her life, so she doesn't care. But if it's some girl that works at Google, frickin' selling her OnlyFans to 17-year-olds on Twitter, like that's fucked. Why is she doing that?
Yeah.
Like that I disagree with, but it's hard to say like it's wrong or to tell someone what to do with their body. But at the same time, it does become ridiculous. I'm not anyone to do like. Well, I would definitely tell someone that they're ugly, but
Okay.
it comes a point where you need to recognize that you shouldn't make one.
It's like
Yeah,
it's like
you also like you'd think that it's oversaturated, like this market, like every girl
right.
It's not.
making one of these. It's not because there's apparently an endless amount of guys. on
Yeah,
there.
there's just an infinite amount of simps and lonely individuals that want
No,
personalized
but
things.
that's the thing. All right, say I'm an e-girl, all right, and you guys are fans of me. You think I'm hot.
Okay.
I have you guys as my personalized fans. It doesn't matter if there's 75 other e-girls in the community selling their OnlyFans. There's 15 guys that I know will pay $20 a month for my OnlyFans because they think I'm hot. I could be some 400-pound fat slob. It doesn't matter. If fucking Casey in the chat thinks I'm hot, he's gonna buy my OnlyFans. So it doesn't matter. There's someone always finds you attractive. So that's why it works.
Right.
But to
Yeah.
us on the outside world, it looks oversaturated because there's so many girls OnlyFans. But that's why it's not oversaturated. So
Right.
it's like it's hard. I don't know. In my opinion, I think it's some girls shouldn't make them. Yeah, but there's some guy out there. who buys,
Personally,
so.
I frown upon them, but they are in fact chasing a bag in a legal way, so I will not like
You
go
gotta
out of
respect the
I
hustle.
will not
No,
go out
yeah,
of my
exactly.
way to try to put them down because the only people that should be put down in the entire situation are the people buying them, are the people
Yeah,
that
I
are
know.
supporting them. Like
So in a nutshell, my take on this situation is sex is free and you can pay for sex. Why would you pay for halfway? Like
I don't know. Some people know they'll never get that from that person, though. That's the thing.
yeah.
like
I think you've never been in that situation to realize that, maybe, or been desperate enough to realize that.
that's
I guess. So I've never been in a situation where I found this girl so hot, nude pictures of her, but I knew I'd never get to see that person. So I can't relate to it. So I really don't know.
Yeah.
Like if I was being blind to like that situation, I'd think it was absolutely stupid. But at the same time, I do get why some people find like OnlyFans like to be a thing, like that they'd be interested in, just because some 500-pound fat slob is looking at Kenzie's OnlyFans. You know,
All I know is
you didn't
like
have to talk to her at all.
you can make so much money, so it's like I will not support them, but I'm not going to put them down. I'll just have my opinion. Like, it's like it's my opinion. It's like you're still gonna make $1,000 in a day. It's like that's not. I'm not gonna like my opinion, and if I just hold it to myself, isn't gonna stop anyone from like making an OnlyFans and going crazy like $1,000 a day, like people in our community can do.
Do you remember why Scump blocked me? I think he blocked me twice, but one time like was a legit, like it was over Ken's. Like,
What'd you
because
do?
I do remember that.
well, you know how we used to always like mess around and
Yeah.
like so like we like I'm pretty sure like we used to always be in her stream all the time. Like she followed a bunch of us on Twitter.
Right.
I don't
Long
think I was
story
ever in
short,
her stream, but
the one COD event I ever went to was to go watch Richie play, and Kenzie DM'd me, like we were talking for like not very long. Anyways, she told me she would let me give her a massage at Orlando, and I was like, how on earth did we get to this point? Scump blocked me. That was all. He saw that I was talking to his girl. Done. I
Wait,
was
so you
like,
asked
bet.
that question?
No. This was like
okay.
no. She told me that. I was like, I think I said something like, yo, like, she like I give fire massages or something like. After she like complained that she was like sore from like working out or something, and she was like, "Oh, you could give me one at Orlando," and I was like,
Oh,
dude,
word.
Orlando, like right in New Year's, that was first.
and I was like, "Oh, word!" And then like next thing you know, this didn't happen. Scump blocked me, and I just went to fucking Orlando and chilled with the boys.
Why is Richie not in dress code? Guys, don't let them fool you. Literally seconds.
Oh yeah,
before
not
he clicked
2 minutes
live.
before we came on, Hayden's like, "Yo, you guys want to put on button downs?" I'm like, "I'm down."
I was like, no. 'Cause I'm not doing
Richie said, "I'm gonna stay in this." Hiding butt ass naked under the can. That is false. I'm wearing Nike shorts in case I gotta run.
I am.
I stay in Nike shorts at all
Yo,
times.
I'm wearing. Wait.
Kate-
Hey, I'm wearing Nike shorts. Let's go.
Cade Gambino walked so V Froggy could run. Oh man, Cade Gambino. I haven't heard that name in years.
Oh my
She
god.
still
Kate
owes
Gambino, a Twitter icon.
She was like,
She still owes the entire community jumping jacks.
Oh, she owes us an
she
unfathomable
had
amount of.
Jack at one point, like, by the balls. That kid was, like, obsessed with her, and she just
Well,
disappeared.
With who?
Nah, she did. I mean, I'm pretty sure he still like follows her on Instagram or something. But like, cause I used to talk to him about like I probably a year and a half ago. Kate, he was like, oh, I still follow her on Instagram. She's not on the internet anymore. I was like, oh.
Jack said like last time you heard she was just getting the cheerleader treatment at colleges. So that's what he told me. She was just
Jesus.
getting the cheerleader treatment. So nothing else to say.
Oh, yeah, I
Said it.
remember that.
My take on this situation is in the chat. I won't repeat myself. That's all.
For Cade Gambino?
Yeah,
Oh, word.
I'm not capping. That is 100%
When-
not cap.
when did
I've
you-
seen a ridiculous amount of pictures of her. The evidence checks out. That's all.
Damn. All I know is like I've been in this community long enough to like spot catfishes who are either hiding like things under makeup, hiding weight behind angles, or hiding
She
like
used to like.
abnormal things from the camera. And there are a few in this community, a few big ones that
A
I will not
few?
name names.
Oh, I know one you're thinking of right now. I won't call it out.
All right, but yeah, they're hiding one of those three things, and
Bro,
man,
she
it's
she
bad.
used to like take like pictures. She'd be like wearing a bikini, like sun's coming down at the pool, and she's got a hat on like this. Hold on, pretend this is just like a normal hat.
And
you'll
like
see
with
what I
the
mean.
cap? Are you saying with the
Nah,
cap?
yeah, like with a cap, like the cap was like down to here.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Like,
Girl,
It
yes.
was-
you just
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
see her
yeah.
face. It was
Yeah,
just
like the shade.
Here, here's my titties, but like it's the shades covering my
Name.
face. It's like
All I'm gonna say about
It's not
B-girls
Lexi George.
in
I've seen
general
Lexi. No.
is if she's on the internet looking for a relationship, obviously there will always be an exception to any rule.
99% of the time.
listen.
Yeah, but if there is someone on the internet looking for a relationship and they're good looking to you, there is either A, they're a psychopath, B, they're mentally ill. Like they're super depressed or something. They can't have normal face-to-face conversations. Or B or C, I mean, they are catfishing you. They are
Yes.
not that good looking. There is no reason. Listen, a girl that's decent looking could go on Tinder right now in their area and get hundreds of swipe rights, whatever one is the one that matches,
Right.
and no problem. A guy cannot do that. All right. So if they are on the internet looking for a relationship, there's something wrong with them. So any of you fuckers that are simping on the internet, know that. And if you're bad looking too,
Hmm.
I don't care. Don't do that. They're
Do
fucking
not.
weird.
Do not.
They're nuts. All right.
And like
Personal
like he said,
experience.
like he said, there's always
Listen.
exceptions, but that rule of thumb I think will apply 99.99% of the time. Like 99. It's such a strong thing.
All I'm
That's
saying
not
is,
true, Han.
if you're a girl looking for love on the internet, there's someone out there willing to pay enough to make you happy.
Really.
Agreed.
And you'll never have to meet them.
Agreed.
You may never have to meet them.
All right. Any final thoughts on OnlyFans / e-girls / someone wanted us to have an in-depth conversation about e-dating. And everyone knows my take.
I guess the times
I did
you
eat
can
it.
kind of segue that right out of
Yeah,
this
yeah.
conversation. 'Cause
Okay.
We're already talking about like internet dating.
Right.
Listen,
Technically, I e-dated, so.
Emma?
I've
Or
never
just in
No,
general?
no. Emma's
I've
from my hometown.
I've
Okay,
never
okay.
tested the theory, but I have seen time and time again the amount of people who try to make this work and fail. That is all I have to say, because there's such a vast difference between long distance dating and e-dating, and long distance dating doesn't even work
Already,
just
yes.
off the get-go.
Bro.
So there's
yeah.
no
Yeah.
way you can think like from a fabricated internet relationship like you're gonna have a successful like
No, yeah, I
true
wouldn't
love.
consider what I had e-dating because I met her like 10 times. And we only dated for 4 months, so
Yeah, if you
10
went,
times.
in my opinion, like e-dating is when you meet on the internet, you haven't met up, but once you do meet up, it becomes long distance because now
Yeah,
you've
it's no longer
established that
dating.
physical
It's still,
relationship.
like, but you can't just say, "Oh, I met her once. Now we're
I mean-
e-dating." Like the foundation of the relationship is online, but like it's a lot different once you start to see them on a regular basis. Like I
Okay,
know
yeah.
one kid in my life has made a long distance relationship work from high school because him and his girlfriend respectively fly each other from their college once a month to see each other. So they see each other twice a month.
Oh,
So
word.
that's like every 2 weeks they see each other. That's not bad.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
That's a long distance relationship with like frequent visits. If you're not making something like that happen, bro, there's literally zero chance.
And so
you're
think
gonna
about
have a
that.
successful
You're in,
relationship.
especially this community and just in general, like communities on Twitter. Unless there's a rich community that I don't know about, where everyone just has a lot of money all the time. Like, how many people in our community can afford to fly someone out twice a month, like, and not, like how many people can do that? It's like,
If you're
What do you mean?
e-dating, listen,
Not
if
that-
you're dating and you have to pay for them to travel to you, that is a red flag.
yes.
If they will
Bro.
not willingly pay to meet you,
If
or
a
vice
girl
versa.
asks me to call her an Uber, that's a red flag.
Yeah, no, seriously. If you're dating, I'll pay for whatever Emma needs, but we're not dating, and she's not willing to do the same thing that I am in terms of payment,
Hmm.
and then that's a red flag. Like, no way.
Right.
If a girl asks me to pay on the first date, it's a red flag.
It's like,
Good luck.
it's
Good
like,
luck is all I'm gonna say.
I
Yeah,
saw.
I don't know about that. Maybe that's why you gotta e-date.
I saw a tweet and it was like last week, and I think Destiny replied to it or quoted it saying like but the tweet was, "I hate men who try to do coffee dates as the first date. Quit being cheap." Like that was it.
No, I saw
Like,
that.
that
That's
was
like
the
a
tweet.
very... Wait, Destiny tweeted that, or she
No,
like,
no, no.
responded to something?
Destiny responded to that tweet, like saying that
Well,
like
because
she pays for
they
it.
were trying to. Their argument was that it's like a cheap way to test out if you like the person. Like you're kind of like selling them short. Like they're not worth like the money to go on a real date. But I feel like it's normalized that a coffee date isn't viewed as that. Like it's a genuinely good first date.
Yeah,
Right.
I also think like the people that take that perspective like generally have a negative outlook on life, because a coffee date is a great way to just chill with someone for like 15, 30, 45 minutes, and not like go too crazy.
Right,
Like,
and
Feels
like
pretty
it's literally
casual
a
too.
casual
Yeah.
engagement.
Mhm.
If anyone thinks like okay, sorry, we didn't go and sit down and order lunch. Like, my bad. Sorry to
I don't know.
disappoint
Me and
you.
Emma
Like,
used to
Right.
go on coffee dates. Oh, I don't drink. I got smooth. We used to go all the time, and
but
it
it's
was
just
super
it's
fun.
the idea of just hanging out for a little
Yeah.
bit and chatting.
Yeah,
Like,
It's like when
exactly.
you used to go with your friends to like McDonald's or something at lunch, and you just sit there all the whole time and like chat. Like it's just like a good like conversation starting area. Like I don't know. Like I know back in the day I was from a small town, so when we were bored, we'd go to like some kind of restaurant and just get the minimal and just sit and talk. That's what it was. Like it's not, and it was fun. Like it was a good time. So I feel like it's viewed by some people as a cheap like route to like date or whatnot, but that's asinine. I feel like it's
Right.
definitely a genuine date.
Like, and I think the whole like, I don't know, paradigm of like the dating culture has shifted so much. But going back to e-dating for a bit, some people they like to speculate that like because I'm so against e-dating that I have e-dated in the past. Let me say flat out, I have never e-dated. I have been advanced upon twice, all right? And that's why I left the anime community because one of their like one bro,
I love
I,
the anime community.
okay, you know
I've never heard
anime,
that
you know
statement.
anime Twitter, anime Twitter, like how cancer they can be. One of the reasons why
No.
they're so cancer is because they e-date without any limits. So like a 14-year-old will be e-dating like a 20-year-old, and they find that perfectly normal. So it's genuinely terrible. All right, but the thing is one of the girls. I think she was like at the time I was 18 and
Was
she
she
was
a guy
21.
or a girl?
She was a confirmed girl in the anime.
Like
She was a
that's like the
confirmed.
number
Confirmed.
one community.
She
for,
she was
like,
confirmed girl in the anime community. Like she posted pictures of herself, like fan signs and all that crap. So confirmed. She for like I don't know. Like I told him like how eating is really stupid because I was in like a talk with them or a group chat, and I don't know like you know how like this the saying you want what you can't have. So I don't know if that like triggered in her head like I want to e-date this person or not. But she started like hitting on me over the internet. And then I was oblivious because I was sort of just because I had already stated previously like I would never e-date. I don't care who you are. I'm not e-dating. So like the fact that someone would immediately come back like being flirtatious. So like basically what happened was like everyone was sort of pushing me on to like e-date this person. So I'm like fuck y'all. I feel like this is elementary school again. I'm out, and it was pretty cancerous. So I'm like I'm out
yeah,
this hoe.
right. You gave
It's
it
like
a couple days.
no.
You know, he was waiting to see if she wanted to make it Facebook official.
but no, like I have never e-dated. I would never e-date. Like even if you like, you guys know that criteria list I have. Even if someone met all the criteria, and they like asked me like,
From the internet, you'd
yeah,
still say
Yeah, no.
I would
feel
still
like,
say no.
I think Hayden, like in my sense, like I don't have like I know you have your criteria list, like
Yeah,
but I have my own criteria list like in my head.
you should put it out.
Like,
We should put it on
if-
Twitter. You should put it on Twitter.
I'll make it. I don't care.
Yeah, do it.
But like even if a girl like did meet all the criteria, like I need a significantly more compelling reason to pursue the opportunity. Like I just don't think they're like the upside is nowhere near as high as the downside,
I
or
think-
as low as the downside is.
Are you saying for eating or just like trying them
Like
out?
just in no e-dating in general, like
Yeah.
you're investing so much like emotion, time, and effort to
Yes.
get
I
like
feel like the
little to nothing out of
backlash of,
it,
like,
even if it does work. Like,
Yeah, the backlash of an e-dating is so much harsher than like, a real relationship too. Like, for example, like if you get in an argument or
there's
they
no
can
sense
like
of closure
delete
either.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
there's
like how are you supposed to like imagine like spending 6 months talking to someone and then you like literally like got feelings for
Well,
each other and the next
the-
day
the-
they block you on Twitter and you never talk to them again.
Yeah, you
well,
have no
what
way.
what about even worse? Okay, I've dated Emma for a year, and oh my god, a year and a month for today, Emma.
I wonder
Anywho,
what my dad thinks I'm talking about.
anywho, say you dated them for the same exact time, but you've never seen them. Not because what if they're like Shay, right? Like they just don't like to put their face on the internet.
Fuck
What if they're
shit.
not like Shay,
But yeah.
and they actually are a guy,
Wait,
and you've invested all these real feelings into a person, had real deep
Mhm.
conversations with them and everything, to find out they are not who they are. Like that has to be the worst feeling ever.
Yes.
Like that is so much worse than a real breakup, than a real like controversy in a relationship. Like if me and Emma get in an argument, I can actually Like, could you imagine like getting in an argument and then breaking up with that person and finding out they were a dude or like a completely different person or something? And like you can do nothing. Like, there's no fixing it. There's no recovering. You're just all those emotions make zero sense. Your family's like, dude, you're a fucking loser. Like, what the hell?
Right.
Who is this person? You've never met them. Like, they don't get it. Like, it would be awful.
And they shouldn't get it. Like,
No,
it doesn't make
I
sense. Yeah.
understand not getting it. I'm just saying, like, it would be so much worse. Like, that is so not worth it.
Yo,
People
and
that
then
do that. No, go ahead.
No, finish your topic.
I was just saying,
I was going
like,
off
people
topic.
that do that genuinely are like desperate for that. There's no reason that you will ever conform to like that kind of dating unless you are actually desperate for some kind of attention. Especially, I should rephrase that. If like you have no idea who they are, like you had like Destiny and Justin, they met on the internet, but they both have always put out who they are, right? Like they
Right.
are always honest about it. Like I'm talking about those people that hide behind an anime or some kind of profile picture, and like they put on these girls that like Linksy from back in the day. Like he used this guy,
Oh
and then all of
man.
a sudden
Oh god.
he was a completely different guy.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get what
dude,
I'm
I
saying?
think
Like
that's so funny. Like we all
I
knew
hate
him
that guy.
because
That's so off topic,
I'm
but
like I know
Right.
we all knew him because we spoken to him and just like played games with him.
yeah.
Just like
I got
wasn't even
scammed by
him.
him. But yeah, and dude, Emma, did you ever hear about that? So there's this guy in our community named Linksy back in the day, Alex Linksy. He was the guy that cheated in 10 Mans. He's the guy that lied about everything in his life. He had this profile picture of this like tan, like maybe like Latino guy, no, he called himself
bro.
Albanian, right?
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
Albanian. Yo, he was
Albanian.
like, yo,
Albanian.
us Albanians, like
Yeah,
every
and guys,
he would
listen to
always
this.
talk about Albanians.
He uploaded pictures of him like flexing like Louis and shit, and like everybody did. He always had new pictures, so we were like, whatever. Well, randomly, this one guy tweets at, I think it was Ace Thug, and he's like, yo, tell that dude to stop stealing my fucking pictures. And everybody was like, whoa, we've known Linksy for like 4 or 5 years
Right.
now.
No. Also, because it wasn't the first time. Because Linksy was like, had like catfished some dude in the past, and we're like, oh, he like showed his face, whatever. Cool.
Yeah.
He's good now. And then 4 years later, like this dude's like, yo, why is this guy like posting pictures of me?
Dude,
Like,
he's like, you're that fucking weirdo from my high school.
Yeah.
Plays and that was around the same time that he scammed me out of a bet. So I helped him make
and yeah, everybody was like, yo, post a picture of yourself with a spoon, and the dude did it. So we were all like, yo.
Yeah, dude. That
A
was
spoon confirmed Linksy as a catfish.
That was
that's
such
so
a downfall for him.
Yeah, it
like,
was.
He got outed for catfishing, and at the same time, me and Frosty and Jack helped him make a 13-game parlay. And he told me if it hit, he'd give me half of it, which was like $5,000. Half was, and it hit, and none of it was his. And he just dipped on us, like completely dipped on all of us, fucking blocked us all and whatever. And that was before Frosty had push, so he stayed in the community after. If Frosty had push back then, like that he does now, that would be over with.
Beheaded.
He's so dumb.
Dude, I just think it's so funny from like the day Linksy like joined the community. He just like was a dominant personality. He was like, yo, I'm the best. Pick me in 8s.
Right.
I'm gonna be the best.
Right.
And then you know we move on. And now he's the best. He's the best at Counter Strike. Wow. Wonder how. Now
Dude, he
Linksy's
cheated
yo.
in
Shout out
Fortnite.
to Ace for letting Linksy play with Nade Shot every day for like months straight on CS:GO. So he thought he was the shit.
Yeah.
And then Nade used to be like, yo, I'm pretty sure this guy's cheating. Like, nah, this doesn't make sense. And then he would turn off the cheats for like the second half of the game. And like that was it. Those were like the funniest days to me. Like,
Dude,
ever.
he actually, Linksy actually kept with key logging. Do you remember him?
Yes.
Clinton?
Clinton?
Yes.
Oh yeah, dude, I've known
Yeah,
Clinton
he actually
because.
kept up with them. Yeah, we met him in Orlando, but
Oh yeah, I've also known like, Clinton was like one of the first kids I followed on.
really, but he
Yeah.
kept up with them, and they were all like, "Dude, not like that. You guys aren't giving him a chance." And then a year later, he scammed them out of 3K, and they're actual like they know some of their shit when it comes to like hacking and shit.
Wait,
Like
who,
they were
who did he
threatening
scam?
to, not Clinton, but like one of their friends, like their friend group,
Like Rush or Will or?
yeah, I think it was Rush. I think it was Rush. But they actually know their shit in hacking, and they like threatened to like ruin his life, and he like disappeared.
Damn.
Well, yeah, Will used to be like a dox lord on the internet.
No,
He
dude,
used to
I
be, like, the
remember
one kid in the-
Clinton. Dude,
Bro,
Clinton's the one that found out Amber lived next to Skillet when Skillet got exposed for catfishing. Do you remember that?
Wait, hold on, can you fill me, like, I was definitely there for this. I just need you to, like, fill me in.
Amber went to school.
No, on the Skillet part. Because
Yeah, Amber went
like,
to school with someone that was friends with Skillet, and so Skillet got like I guess like outed as a catfish because of that, and like it
we
made
all know,
Clinton
like,
mad or something.
in
So
his
he like
defense,
doxed
he
her.
was, like, very not comfortable with the way he looked, and we all love him, so.
Well, he
like-
looks good now. Did you see?
Oh,
how
yeah,
much
he
weight
looks
lost?
great. He, like, yeah, but he was really in, like, a place, like, he wasn't.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't blame him at all. Like,
Yeah, he did
if
it
you're
for
in a dark
different
time, you'll
reasons.
do anything to, like,
Yeah.
make yourself feel normal. Like, he didn't do it to just fit in, you know? Like, he
Yeah,
just
no,
kind of,
no,
like,
he
was
did it for
scared of who
different
he
reasons.
was.
Yeah.
And we love
But
Skillet. We stand.
yeah, no, yeah. Anywho, yeah, Clinton was quite he knew his shit, man. He like faked who he was, talking to like her internet company to get her address. That Whodat guy, he got his address by calling his like Dish Network or some
do you
shit.
remember?
man.
Hold on, time out.
Man.
Yo, me and Houdat used to be good friends because he was from New York City. Bro,
Dude, he was a loser. I hated that
nah, yo, me
I
and
didn't like
him,
him.
one time, I went to his crib, and we played COD for, like, literally 6 hours straight. That's all we did. Me and him just played COD for dumb
guy.
long.
Did you kiss
And then I
after
left.
or what?
No, I was like, yo, like, his mom was like, who are you? I was like, I'm one of Matt's friends. Yo, we play COD. She was like, okay. Like, this random kid showed up to my
Dude,
house
I
to, like,
remember
play
when I went
video
to New
games with
York.
Matt.
I remember I went to New York. I hated that kid, and he's like, "You won't do shit or something." I was like, "We tried to go to him, remember?" And he pushed out. He wouldn't give us his address.
He was a little odd, but, like, you know, when I used to play with him, he was cool. But then he, like,
Dude, at
you know,
the
he
time,
turned
bro,
into,
I was fucking jacked. I think I would have fucked that dude up when we fought. Like I was ripped when I went to New York that year. Like
Yeah.
I was massive.
Oh, also, he was one of those kids where, like, we were chill. Like, we used to play hella games all the time, and then I would talk to him, like, a month later, and he would just be like, why are you talking to me? Like, I'd be like, yo, like, where are you applying to college? He'd be like,
Yeah, Casey,
why do you
that
want to
was, like, the
know?
best
And
shit I've ever been in.
I'm like, dude, like, I used to fucking talk to you every day for, like, 6 months straight. Now you're mad when I say what's up. Like, what is wrong with you?
What a
So
He
guy.
was weird. He was like Bane.
There's
Like
some
Bane's
weird ass kids
now.
who came out of this, like, in and out of this
Bane's cool
community.
now, but he was like that too when he was
No,
younger.
I never.
You're talking about
Bane used to just get on my
Bane
nerves all the
MLG
time.
or Poppy Bane or whatever.
Yeah, I
Bro.
like him now. He plays
Nah,
RuneScape
I think
all the time.
he's a funny, like, troll dude. It's just
Bro,
not my guy, you know.
he reminds me of you remember when like I used to argue with everybody all the time, like with almost anything, like a year ago. I think it was like a year ago, 2 years ago,
Yeah.
2017, early 2018. Like I'd argue with Frosty, like basically anyone that replied to me, I would argue with them. Like
That was me too, bro.
like I would just argue. Like I was a very argumentative person. It wasn't like 2014, 15, 16 me where I would just like spew hate all the time. It was more of a I'm just gonna win this argument, make you look stupid sort of thing. It's like that.
Yeah,
And,
that was me
Bro, Black
that's
used
what-
to live rent free in my head. Not even gonna cap.
too.
But
Bro, Black Thief's shorter than me, man. Put that in perspective.
and the
That
thing
gives
is,
me confidence. IRL, knowing that.
Bane
Good.
is right now what I was like 2 years ago. Like he's very like political and divisive. He legit thinks like the only way to fix the country is like civil war, man. Like the country's too far gone. We just gotta round up all the liberals and put them on an island or something. Like yeah, he reminds me of like 2018 me.
I'm gonna go pee real quick.
So
He's younger though. So
yeah, he's younger. So
we
he also
kinda
goes
got
to
off
the
topic. Is there any more topics that you had?
that was like the big three. Let's see. Oh yeah, someone said dub or sub for anime.
I've never watched anime, so I
So
don't even know
yeah,
what that
you
means.
can't. It's like sub is
Wait, no, dub means translated.
no
Right.
sub is translated. It's like captions at the bottom that say like whatever they're saying.
Oh, well, subtitles. Okay.
Yeah, subtitle.
I thought dubbed meant that it's in English.
Yeah, dub is in English. Like they're saying it like a human, like an English voice is saying it. in
You ever
English.
watched this? I try to watch scary. Emma always picks scary movies that are like in a different language, and we'll try to like watch it. And it's so bad, dude. Like they'll be like "hello," and they'll go. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
come on, man. That's not what they
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. I hate.
Yes, Emma. See, French scary movies are always the good ones. Yeah, every time we're like, dude, those are so good, but like I said, they'll be like, and the guy goes, "Come back." It's like, no, that's not what he said.
Bro,
He said,
I hate scary movies and scary things with a passion. It took my chat
what?
like, bro, I hate it with a passion. Everything in
Bro,
my
listen,
soul. I hate.
live for scary movies.
I hate.
Did you know? Did you ever see the preview of that movie that came out the 13th this year, September 13th?
Nope.
What's it called? Haunt,
Nope.
where they were like going to a haunted house. You guys didn't see that preview on Twitter? Did anyone see that? Well, me and Emma rented that movie because, funny enough, when it released, it was only in like a couple cities, and then the rest you could buy it online. And it was a really scary movie, and it was the first scary movie that I've seen in like 2 or 3 years. And I watch every single scary movie that releases because I love scary movies. We go to every single one. That's the first one that actually showed gore. Like they showed a guy's head legitimately getting smashed with a sledgehammer. And it was such a good scary movie. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I
What
hate.
movie was this?
Haunt. Did you ever see the preview for that on Twitter?
No. I'm not
I'm
I'm not a big scary movie guy. Like I don't like care about like the scary part. It's just like not my.
No, I just steer clear from it, like everything about it.
Yo, listen.
here. I'm gonna put it in the chat. That's the scary movie I'm talking about. I know some people saw it on. Like it's made by A Quiet Place. I don't know if you guys know that their director.
Aren't
I can't
those the
remember his name.
people that like make a lot of money? Like they use very little money to make a. Is that them?
Yeah. Because
They use very
they
little
didn't
money
even-
to create the movie, and then they like revenue millions, like
Alan, you watched that
big
movie?
million.
You actually watched it, or A Quiet Place or Haunt? I talked about two different movies right there.
He's probably talking
Oh, I
about
thought a
Haunt.
quiet. I thought a quiet place was
Oh,
the.
Quiet Place.
Yeah, I would say Haunt. No, A Quiet Place was in theaters and stuff. Dude, that movie sucked. Spoiler alert. Because the whole plot ended with her hearing aid is what killed all
Oh
things.
yes, I. Okay. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Yeah.
There wasn't a single word spoken in the movie. It was actually good, but the ending was so dumb.
I like that better than that other
Ooh.
movie where like there were. It's like you couldn't see anything. What was it with Sandra? Was it Sandra Bullock? You couldn't like.
Oh,
It's like you had to have your
something
eyes.
box. What's that called?
Like you had to have your eyes closed the entire time, or like blindfolded or something. Because if you look,
Bird Box.
Bird
That's what
Box.
it's called. Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
like
I didn't watch that.
that
I didn't think
movie.
Bird Box was bad.
I dislike that ending because the thing is they're screwed no matter what because
Oh
they're
yeah, no, the ending sucked.
like
yeah.
they're confirmed going to die eventually because there's
Yeah, 'cause
crazy
the people
people.
will turn on him anyways and like pull the.
Yeah, like the
Like,
crazy
uh,
people, they will eventually hunt them down and either kill them or take their blindfold off, or they'll like those monsters can't be killed. Like you literally cannot see them in any way
They
possible.
don't exist. Yeah, they're not like.
Like they're not, yeah, they're not in the plane of existence. They can
They're-
move things, but like you can't do anything to them. So
Well, I think the thing with scary movies is they have a really good idea of a scary movie, and then when it comes to wrapping it up, they really struggle to find a good reason to be able to wrap it up. Like that book, what do you call it? We watched a movie recently called like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark or something.
oh yeah.
And it was a
Remember.
book also.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a book or
Yeah, it was a book.
from a book.
It was a book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anywho, the ending was kind of dumb to me because the scary stories didn't seem like the people would inevitably die. Like there was literally no way around them, and somehow in the last story, they magically defeat this non-existent creature that like is undefeatable, and then that's it. And she wanted to even pursue like trying to kill like the demon itself or whatever. And it's like she is like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Please don't kill us anymore." And she's like, "All right, sorry. We'll stop killing you." Like no, like that's dumb. Like that's why I find Sinister to be the best scary movie ever created. Because Sinister had a good plot and it had a good rising and falling action, and the ending ends in the main characters getting their legs, they were disembodied completely. That's how it ends. Everyone dies. And it ends without trying to magically make the people solve the case. It ends how it should end.
Dude, I just don't think I've seen that many scary movies.
I just don't watch.
One thing
I
want you to
avoid
do
them.
tonight is
I
go
avoid them.
watch Sinister. I will
I'm
find you
not
a link.
sitting in my room by myself and watching a scary
Bro,
movie.
that'll be the
Not
scariest
enjoyable
movie
to
you've
me.
ever seen. Sinister, the first time I watched it was the first scary movie that genuinely scared me. Like, if you ask Emma, every scary movie we go to, I look and I do not blink. I do not jump. For some reason, scary movies don't get me. Sinister was the first movie that actually ever scared me. And Sinister 2 sucks, so don't watch it.
Well, I think
I'm good on
Hills
both.
Have Eyes was probably the only scary movie I liked, but to be
Really?
like,
I thought that movie sucked.
yeah, but let me explain why I like this. This was like one of the first scary movies I ever watched with my boy
Jeepers
over the
Creepers
summer,
was my
like
first.
probably like 8, 10 years ago. Like I was like, yeah, I don't really watch scary movies. Like I like comedy and shit. It was like we're watching. I was like, bet, let's do it.
All right.
It's like the first scary movie I ever saw, and I was like, oh, shit.
I like I don't know. I don't know. I just dislike scary movies in general.
Really?
I hate the
I
idea of just getting scared. Like I don't know. Like
think that's what I like. I feel like some scary. I'm a huge comedy guy too. I watch Trailer Park Boys over and over, like the seasons over and over every night before bed. Like Emma at this point is so sick of watching Trailer Park Boys before bed, but I don't care. I watch it every night. But scary movies, they hit different for me. I love the feeling of like being on the edge of scared. Like I don't know why. And the two best scary movies, no one can argue this. I'd even put them in my top 10 movies of all time. Are Sinister and Saw One. If you've never seen either of those, you are truly missing out on great films. Like I know scary movies are scary, but if you just watch them, they are genuinely amazing movies. Don't watch the others. Saw 2 you could probably watch. Jigsaw you actually could probably watch. That one was pretty good. But do not watch anything. Saw 1 is if they never made another Saw, it would be the best scary movie ever made. Period. But because they made other ones, it degraded it.
right.
Sinister, a lot of people don't know they made a second one, so it kind of helps. Sinister's also probably a top 2, top 3 scary movie of all time for a lot of people.
Hmm.
I know some people hold on to like old scary movies like Jeepers Creepers, Hills Have Eyes, like say those are good, but I don't know. I feel like those scary movies are slept on. Just like I think some of them do suck. I've watched hundreds of scary movies, and there's a lot of times where the plot is like at the end somehow, some way, mysteriously, some person saves the day, and those are always the boring ones. Like I saw one and Sinister end in awful ways. Like they end in gory, crappy ways, but like in a good way. It makes sense. They're supposed to end that way, and that's why there's the Cabin in the Woods was also good, except for Cabin in the Woods is about this group of kids that go to this cabin, and at the cabin there is this underground company seriously, like randomly exists that has these mystical creatures. And what they do is they set them off based on how they react in the cabin, the kids. And they trap these kids in this like invisible force field and then make wagers on how long the kids will survive. Like seriously, that's the whole premise of the movie. And at the end you realize they'll never survive because they have hundreds of thousands of random ass non-existent creatures like unicorns that come out of the ground and fuck it. And it's actually a really good scary movie. Like it is definitely worth watching.
What?
I don't know why it's so good, but I don't.
That
There's some diamonds in the
that
rough.
sounds funny.
It was pretty good. Like they survived too long, and this guy made a bet, and he's the one controlling the game, and he's like fuck, so he like speeds it up because he doesn't want to lose. Like it was pretty good. I agree.
On
Cloverfield's
that
not super scary in my opinion, but
on that topic, like a really good show that I actually just, with the controlling people kind of scheme. So I was chilling with my boy like earlier this week, and he watches like mostly like I guess anime and like stuff. Like
Mhm.
he watches some pretty like obscure animes. He's like, "Yo, have you seen The Good Place on Netflix?" I'm like, "Nah, like what is that?" And it's like a show where these people, like the whole world,
Oh.
everything you do in your lifetime is judged like
Mhm.
on a negative or positive aspect. So
Right, right.
basically, if you did something inherently positive, you'd get a high score for that action.
so
If
is
you did
that is
something
that like the oh
so
never mind.
now look, let me explain it. So you get a low action for doing awful things. You get a high amount of points for doing.
And it's
really good
overall
things.
good or
And
bad.
At the end of your life, like the top 0.1% of people go to the good place, which is heaven, like the equivalent of heaven.
Mhm.
And literally everyone else goes to this place where you just get fucking tortured the whole time, the bad
It's
place.
just a clusterfuck. Like just
Yeah.
just a
So
clusterfuck.
like this show is like it starts with this girl like ending up in the good place
Now I want to
when
see
she
that. That
doesn't
sounds
belong
so
there.
good.
She doesn't belong there, and it's like and every episode just has like one little hook to like get you to the next episode, and it's so good because the whole time like they don't have any idea what's going on, and they're just trying to figure it out. And she's like, I don't belong here. Like this is the good place. Like blah blah
Mhm.
blah. But she's trying to belong there. Like would recommend. Show is pretty interesting. It's kind of
Is
weird.
it done or
It's 2
continuing?
seasons on Netflix.
I
No, I haven't even
watched. We were at. I think no, we were at COD Champs, like at the, just chilling at the apartment we were staying at or wherever we were staying at, and
Okay.
we had been watching The Office for like the majority of it. But
Oof.
someone was like, I don't know, I think it was Lexi or someone. It was like either Lexi or Joey. Like, I want to watch The Good Place. I was like, I don't even know what the hell that is. Go ahead. So actually, I know I was against it. I'm like, no, fuck that. We're watching The Office. But eventually, they took the controller from me, and so they put on The Good Place. It was Lexi. Okay, yeah. So they put on The Good Place, and like I think I got like 3 episodes in, and I fell asleep, and then I woke up.
Hey, peace
It was like a 10-minute nap, 10 to 20 minute nap. I woke up and they had turned it off, and I was just like, "What happened to The Good Place?" And then Lexi was like, "Oh, that place that sucked. We turned that off. It was terrible. We didn't know what was going on." I was like,
Really?
"What?" So
Is there a show that you're watching that you would recommend that's like kind
I don't watch shows. The only
Yeah, no,
thing I
that's-
watch week to week is Boruto, which is the Naruto sequel. So
I
Okay.
do not watch TV like on a regular basis. I get in
yeah,
like a show that I feel
is he cutting
way
out?
in on.
yeah, he's
Like,
cutting out. You're cutting out.
No, it's my Discord.
Okay,
I don't know
okay.
why.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta like usually I can look and see when my mic is picking up, but sometimes it just doesn't. But
Okay.
basically, like I rarely ever watch a show like through in a very short amount of time. So when I do, I'm like, all right, that show had to be at least somewhat good.
Have you guys seen the show You? The Netflix series You? It's just
Nope.
called You. I
I'm gonna
wonder
restart my
has
Discord
any
just
of
to
the
make sure
chat
my
seen
mic works.
that? So it's a kind of show that like I wouldn't expect myself to enjoy, but it's about this guy that falls in love with this girl at first sight, except for she doesn't know he exists, and he becomes obsessed with her, kind of like a guy that sees a hot girl. All right.
Yeah.
Anywho, he goes out of his way to purposely run into her. Like it's not fate. Like he set this up. He did something that made her, get to a place. Anywho, they end up dating, and the story gets really intense. And he's a psychopath, but like in like a passive way. And like he stalks her, and she has no idea. And it's like the whole time, like you go from cheering on him as a psychopath, like to like I don't know. When I was watching it with Emma, like it made me show how like it showed me how like girls actually do like grab onto this guy just because he's nice, regardless of how awful and toxic he is. Because like she cheered him on while he was an awful person stalking this girl, and Mako said he watched it with Leia. Is that her name? Leah. Leah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He watched it with her, and she did the same thing, even though he said he was a piece. It's actually a really good show. I'm not gonna lie, you gotta watch it. It's not a show. It's kind of like a chick flick, honestly, kind of show, but it's really good. And there's another one, The Haunting of Hill House. It's a Netflix series. People said it was like so scary. It's not scary, but it's actually a really, really good show. And those are 2 Netflix series that I would recommend to anyone. And they both have season 2s coming out apparently. Not sure how they'll time
What was the
in
name
with
of
the
the show
first
again? Chat's
Haunting
asking.
of Hill House and You, YOU. Both those are very, very, very good shows. And another one is Trailer Park Boys. So if you haven't seen Trailer Park Boys, I don't care how old it is, you gotta start from episode 1 and go all the way through. You'll shit yourself. It's better than any fucking what is it called, The Office you'll ever see. So
Whoa, let's not do quick jabs like that. Let's not.
all right, no, I'm serious. I'm serious.
Talking about the most overrated show ever
Okay,
created.
okay,
Don't
okay.
even get me
Please stop.
started.
Please stop.
Dude.
No, okay, Heighten. Seriously, I've never seen full season of The Office. I will watch a full season of The Office if you watch a full season of Trailer Park Boys.
I've watched both.
Okay. Here's the thing with me in terms of watching things. Once I start something, like unless it's just god awful, I have to finish it. So
Well, you'll finish. I know if you watch season 1, Trailer Park Boys, you will finish the whole
okay,
season 12.
because like the thing is with The Office, it was during like the summer going into my I want to say it was the summer going into my first year of college. So like I had that summer off besides like a mini class I
that
was
just makes
taking.
it way funnier. Bro.
Yeah. So like it was like sort of like
I can't watch it unless
it was
I
sort of
am.
a hectic and anxious time when I was watching The Office, and I literally like binge watched it, and not like a healthy binge watch. Like it's what I would do with Naruto. If you guys know Naruto, it's like 400 episodes for season 1, 500 episodes for season 2. Or no, it's like 300 for season 1. I don't know. It's like it's like
It's
close
a
to.
lot.
It's a lot of episodes, and I binge watched Naruto junior year going to senior year of high school, and it came out to like 8 hours a day of watching, 8 to 9 hours a day of watching.
Is it me or
everything.
is Heighten a little crackly right now?
Yeah, he's kind of crackly.
I just want to make sure it wasn't me. I just ripped ass.
That's
Test
awful.
test. But yeah, no, I it was like some unhealthy binge
Yo,
watching.
you're still crackly.
Heck.
It does? It sounds fine. Maybe it's just in Discord. Oh.
Anyhow,
Fuck Discord.
But-
You're good. You're good.
But yeah,
Continue.
like it was like an unhealthy amount of binge watching, and that's what I did with Naruto and The Office. To the point, like when I finished it, I had withdrawals from like not being able to consume that like show or whatever like the next day. It's like that's why I'm so hesitant to try shows, because I'm so used to like just going crazy on it.
Well,
But I will, for you, I will attempt, or I will watch
Listen,
some of it after the semester's
character
over.
development, you can tell in Trailer Park Boys when their characters actually got real scripts written for them and not like the original people that created the show writing it. Because like Bubbles in season 1 through 3 is such a boring character, but by like season 6 he's so fucking funny. And Jamie, his name is J Rock. In the first couple seasons he's just a normal white dude, but by like season 10, like he's the fucking funniest character in the show. And I don't know, that show like funniness progresses each season.
Mhm.
Like it's such a good watch. It's a good watch. It's worth
Alright.
it.
Yo, time out. I just quoted a tweet of the. Do you just see this girl posted on like, come take a sip of her on a lemonade stand? It's like a Twitter seek, and then on the sign it says lemonade's $40. So I quoted. I was like, yo, $40. You better have promethazine in there, like jokingly. And Skillet's like, you mean codeine? And I'm like, bro, it's not that serious. He's like, I mean, I just wouldn't want lemonade with promethazine, but like codeine, I understand. I'm like, dude, it's lemonade. Like, relax.
Is he
like,
private?
no, he just responded to my tweet, yo.
He's got me blocked, bro.
Yeah, he must have me blocked because it says tweet is
Bro.
unavailable.
He quoted my tweet making fun of football. Well, the Texans had just lost to a 60-yard field goal, and so I quoted his tweet and made fun. I said, "No one gives a shit about your cloud links," and I felt bad. Like I felt remorse right after I said it, but I think I hit him deep because he instantly blocked me.
I'm blocked, but the thing is I haven't interacted with that man for a very long time, so it must have been a long
He's a
time
huge
ago.
drug addict, though, to be honest. So I feel like only drug addicts are the people that correct you on like kinds like I don't know, like what.
I just
like,
stopped
what
caring
is-
about like
what-
Twitter like that a while
That
ago.
might
like,
explain why Ace
just
Thug.
drop a like and keep scrolling, bro.
That might explain why Ace Thug corrects every typo on Twitter. This dude is a hard drug user, a very hard drug user. Like,
Yeah, I heard
might be it.
I heard Nate Shot stopped hanging out with Ace Thug in Discord because of his hard drug use. It's
Yeah,
been a
that's-
bad image for 100
That's
views.
it's crazy.
Wow.
Shaking my damn head. All right.
Oh man.
Do y'all have anything else y'all want to talk about? Honestly,
I-
those are some pretty good topics we hit.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
we
think.
could
Oh, wait, so disrespect.
we could open it up to questions if not.
Yes, questions.
We're wrapping it up. I don't know if anybody wants to hear us talk about anything in particular before.
We said Ace Thug's name and now he's back. So, hello, Logan. Bro, I'll email Logan because I know his student email, and he said he won't email me back because it comes from a different email. And he doesn't want me to have that information. Even though I know his first name, his last name, which college he goes to. I know a substantial amount of information about this man, but and I've met him. He doesn't trust me and know his return address. I'm just like, what? Like,
Oh well.
whatever, man. This is why you got memed, and I go with DeBob every day. Have y'all seen that? Have y'all seen that DeBob image? Bro,
that image is
Aista got photoshopped to oblivion, and it's the most amazing thing. Like, this dude got photoshopped so bad.
Wait, what's the other one? It's the Bob or the what?
Dominion.
Minion. Yo, this shit is.
Bro,
I
let me
laugh every
see
time I
this.
see someone.
And it's
Alright,
also
IR.
here. Let me see if I can find it. I know I tweeted out recently.
Wait, Deshaun Jackson's on IR, Zach, or is he just? Do you have an IR fantasy where you can put him on there? Because I didn't realize he was on.
Someone also made like a de AR-15 or the pistol flip today, and it was Ace Thug holding him. It's just Ace Thug.
Zach, why are you starting?
It's just Ace
Zach
Thug.
starting Will Disley over Mark Andrews. That's interesting. Anywho, continue. Yeah, make fun of Ace Thug.
Someone made me.
I tried to
Wait,
make it.
Bob, look where it got
So-
me. I'm crying.
I tried to make Ace Thug one of my emotes, but he told me he'd report me if it got made.
Or Ace Thug,
And
you're
it
fake
was
for
so
that.
good.
Ace Thug, yo, Ace Thug, you big fake for that.
Yeah,
bro.
you hecka fake. I will be reporting this year if you show the picture. What was I
Yo,
gonna say?
wow, of course Craves would be so out of the loop to not even know that's Ace Thug.
What?
Oh, that's Craves. That's
Yeah.
those Craves.
Mhm.
Zach,
I never made that correlation. I knew those Craves' name was Zach, but I didn't know this dude just changed his name to Zacher. Like what?
Zach R.
Zacher.
Zacher.
Bro, he's missing an E. It's
I
easier
think
to
I just
think.
knew that because I knew that was his name now.
That was crazy. What's the R stand for, Zach? Reynolds.
Retard.
Rigatone.
That was a joke, Twitch. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're banned. See you later.
GG.
Retard. You're missing a hairline. It's right there. I have a forehead.
mine.
Look, 4 fingers. Look, 4
at my
fingers.
hair.
Hairline on deck.
Forehead. It's very
I got
easy.
that. Forehead. My forehead is massive, bro.
Forehead right there.
I could probably
Forehead.
squeeze 5 if I really wanted.
No, I cannot squeeze
No, I
5.
can't do it. I can't
It's
do it.
not fair, man. I got small hands, alright? I'm just kidding. No, my forehead's pretty.
My hand is
Look
like
at
the
this.
size
Look
of
at
my
this.
face.
Look at this.
Oh,
I'm
man.
like 40 years old.
Bro, that reminds me of that one picture where like they shaved all the way
I
back
kind of
here.
got that, Richie. Mine doesn't go as far back.
Like
but,
they
Well,
They
that's
shaved
what
the
a
guy all the way
receding
back
hairline
here.
is.
No,
if you're not big forehead gang, you're not gang.
I'm not gonna lie, I've had it this far back since I was like 18. Is that crazy, Roman? 18 years old. That's when I met you. I'm 23 now.
You're 23,
I'm
Richie?
21. I'm so.
I didn't even know you were 23.
I turned 23 14 days ago.
What the heck? You didn't tell Twitter so we could all say happy birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday.
Happy
to us.
belated birthday. 2
I
weeks.
think I did.
Did you tell
Nah,
Twitter?
yo, the only
No, I
thing that
had,
puts
like,
into perspective how OG me and Richie are is that he invited me to his graduation party. I got an invite in the mail. to Richie's graduation
Speaking
party.
of that,
Do you know
that's
how old
also
I was
that's
when I
also
met you?
lit. That's lit. I did tweet about it. Damn, that's crazy. Okay,
I think I barely
didn't.
mentioned it. I just mentioned that like I seriously think I had like 250 people tweet me happy birthday on Twitter, and I maybe had like 5 people on my Facebook wall that
Damn.
weren't like my mom or like my grandma.
I'm low key
so-
fake. That's crazy.
Oh no,
That's
dude.
crazy.
No, it's not a big
Speaking of
deal. I'm 23,
graduation,
not 16.
If everything goes according to plan, like, because I have to take 4 graduate classes this semester and 4 next semester to graduate in the spring.
Wait, as a regular like 4-year degree, or are you getting like a?
Like, you mean the 4 classes you have to take this and next semester are required for your graduation?
Yes, like I
I
have
thought
to
you did
do.
graduate.
No, I got my bachelor's, but I'm doing a dual degree program to where I get both. I shouldn't have even walked last
Wait, so
semester.
you're getting a master's or a second bachelor's?
Master's. So I shouldn't have
Well, yeah,
even
my
walked.
school has that, like, does that a lot too, like, where you can apply like end of junior year for a 5th year master's.
Right. So that's what they sort of did. So if everything goes according to plan, if I do 4 and 4, I will graduate in the spring. And I've said this for like a while now. It's like everyone is invited to my graduation. Everybody, everybody, like every single person that wants to come out. I will open my house up to everybody. I don't know if I'll have enough room for everyone to sleep. You guys can probably sleep. Like I have a deck and whatnot.
I've never been to Texas, bro.
But like
I've been to Texas
everyone
for
is
fun.
invited. Obviously, like if there's limitations on the housing and you don't want to get a hotel or something, I will take precedence with like the people who have known me the longest. So you guys, of course. But yeah, anyone is invited to my graduation. It's just like the people that can like graduation and then like party and whatnot. So everyone
Yo,
It's-
listen,
so
I'm
it's like
down.
summer?
This thing just needs to be
Yeah,
planned.
yeah, it would be-
I can't.
Look, I
can't
can't-
do
yeah,
things
'cause-
with
Yo,
people.
yeah, yeah.
Every
Yo,
time-
people on the internet be like a month before TwitchCon, be like, everyone's going to TwitchCon. If you're not there, you suck. I'm like,
Nah, seriously,
dude, it's in
Roman.
4.5
Roman,
weeks.
don't
like-
even start that, bro. No, Roman and Zach will message me during January, 2 weeks before they go to Miami, and they'll go, Chandler, dude, you gotta come to Miami. I'm like, you could have told me 6 months ago when I could get a plane ticket,
Bro, because I'll go to Zach and it'll be like 3-4 weeks at a time, and I'll be like, yo, Zach, like Miami, and he'll be like, yeah, because like for the people who don't know, my dad lives down here, so I spend a lot of
Yeah,
time
you
down
can go
here.
whenever.
I try to have like my friends come and hang with me when I'm down here, because I usually come for a substantial amount of time. So like when I'm already here and I'm just like, yo, like cop a flight, let's go. And sometimes like my friends are in break, like they're just like, bet, like, I'll do it. And like I don't know.
So like
Miami, no, I'm like a little north of Miami now, Zach.
basically it'll be set in stone after this semester ends. Because after this semester ends and next semester starts, like
Are
January
you guaranteeing that you'll pass them?
next semester, guaranteed I will get B's and up. Like not B minuses, B's and
But
up.
this semester, you're like, fuck.
But yeah, this semester, like I'm swimming and I can't see any sort of like any sort of land. Like, so after this semester, I can like guarantee like a
Dude, I
date,
hate that feeling.
time.
No, that's me, dude. I just took a test 2 days ago. No, yesterday, and I had a test today. I have a lab that I told you guys earlier before we went live. I have a lab to do this weekend before Sunday. I need to do it all tomorrow. But in order to do this lab, which is twice as long as a normal lab, I need to be able to have done every part of Lab 2 and Lab 3 to do Lab 4. But Lab 3 and Lab 2 were very hard, and I did not get to the parts I need of Lab 2 and Lab 3. So I have to do Lab 2, finish Lab 2, finish Lab 3, and then do Lab 4 all tomorrow. And then I have a test Monday and a test Wednesday. So I need to finish this lab tomorrow, study Sunday, test Monday, study Tuesday, test Wednesday morning. And I just had a test last night, and I had a test today at 11. And there's no way to reschedule them because they're
Like-
not on the same days. So it doesn't, like, this was a 2-week lab, obviously. That's why I have to use Lab 2 and Lab 3. But it's kind of bullshit. Like, what normal teacher does that shit, right? Like, they should give me, like, yeah, I've already lost points on Lab 2 and Lab 3 for not being completely finished, right? I'm in a major that doesn't matter. Like, you don't need to get everything done. You're not getting an A unless you're Doc Gore, who like I'm not dissing
Shout out to Doc
Gore.
Gore because he's like
And
a
he dedicates
psychopath.
his life to
Yeah.
it. He knows why he's there. That's good. All right. But if you're not Doc Gore, it is very hard to get an A in this class. All right. So losing those points isn't a big deal. But I shouldn't be punished twice for the same
Mhm.
punishment, right? I murdered one person, not two. All right. I
Right.
shouldn't go to the next week and go, oh, I gotta finish that one to do this one. He doesn't give you those parts, so it's like royally fucked me, and that's why college for me fucking blows, and I have no idea. I'm more than drowning right now.
I
Yeah.
really just think engineering is a whole
Ace
different
Doug's
beast.
freaking
Bro, yeah.
sitting on
No,
bomb underwater.
engineering is a completely different beast to everything else because I think, all my friends I knew in high school and some more from my old high school, they're like, yeah,
Graduated.
they're like, yeah, I'm going to engineering. Like in high school, they're like, I will be going into engineering, like some sort of engineering, like either electrical, mechanical, like biochemical, something like that.
Yeah,
And then
now they're
every
not, right?
single one of them, but one, only one is left like alive, like in it, as of senior year starting, have dropped it. Like the other went to like accounting. One of them went to become a film major. Think about that. You went from actual engineering to a film major. I'm not dissing any like film majors here, but I'm just like thinking about like the leap
That's his calling, bro.
Yeah, it's his calling, but like just think about that leap. Like you went so far.
No. I feel
No,
you.
I
'Cause
mean,
I think
it's-
that's young. Go ahead.
Dude, a lot of people don't go into college saying like I may be passionate about film, but this isn't something I'm going to go to school for.
Right.
Because a lot of the time, people who go to school for stuff
For
like
money.
that, film,
Mhm.
drama, etc., don't go out of college and get a job that makes their education worth it.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
here's the
very few
problem.
film schools in the country or the world even that like are high enough caliber to put you in a position where you're going to be successful.
Exactly, yeah. But the thing is a lot of kids get out of college or get out of high school, college. I kind of enjoy this subject somewhat, but I know it'll make a lot of money, so that's why I'm going for it. And then when they get here, they either A, realize they don't want that, or B, it's too hard for them to actually do given the circumstance. And honestly, that might be the only reason I'm still an engineer because my freshman year and my sophomore year, I was a piece of shit, all right? I clearly was smart enough to get by with the bare minimum or I wouldn't be here because if you fail 2 semesters in a row you get kicked out, right? So obviously I had to do something that it, enabled me to not do that. But I had probably 20 people in my life that I knew that were also engineers and I would put my life on it that at least 5 of them were miles smarter than me and none of them are still engineers. None of them, not a single one.
Mhm.
They're not even close to engineers anymore. And I think that might literally be the only reason I'm still doing computer engineering is the simple fact that I don't want to say I'm one of those people of that statistic that went for some dumb major that they didn't like just to like make money. I want to like actually and I found enjoyment in it, but like that's a huge problem with students like going into college is that they go for something that makes money and not something that makes them happy. And that's why I sucked at school the first 2 years and I'm paying the consequence. If I do not pass 10 out of my 14 credits this semester, I lose financial aid forever. Any time I ever go to school again, I will never get offered financial aid. I will probably be a 6-year major, maybe 6.5, because I took 2 GPAs, 2 0 GPAs in my college career, and I've also failed 5 classes.
Bro, but
All
the
right,
thing
and
about it
that's
like
not.
this,
But
yeah,
that's not
once
just
you're
me.
out,
Like that's all engineer majors.
Mhm.
So if you're thinking about going into engineering, please make sure you actually enjoy it. Because if you do not, you will be in my situation. All right. How did I get a 0 GPA? I didn't go to class. All right. I did not give a fuck. Here's what happened. I got a 0 GPA. I realized that that was fucking dumb. I tried my ass off the next semester and then got a good GPA so I didn't get kicked out of school. Came back, did the same exact thing, and then recovered. And then realized, hey, Chandler, if you want to ever leave college, you got to stop being a fucking pile of shit. And then I tried my ass off for a couple semesters. Now I'm to the point where I'm actually taking real hard classes, not just being a piece of shit, but I have no retakes and I have no drops. So if I fuck up on a test, I can't go, whoa, I'll just drop this. I'm just fucked. I have to figure out how to
Mhm.
not fail. And you don't want to be that guy. Surprisingly enough, the only thing I got going for me is my core classes, the ones that you like your major classes.
Right.
I have a 3.9 in those classes. Otherwise, I would have been kicked out of school. So, if you do not enjoy engineering, the moral of the story is do not go for it because you will fuck yourself. Because those people in your classes that actually are passing, they are smart and you will not get a job. All right? That's all I'm saying. Gen Eds were the easiest thing. They're the only reason I'm still in college.
yeah, gen eds were easy, bro. Once I started taking upper level econ, it started catching up with me.
Yeah, once you have to enjoy what you're
Bro,
I'm sort of in your
all-
Richie. I'm
my
sort of in
bad.
like in terms of like you can't drop a class, you can't fail a class, like right? You said you can't fail, or can you fail? Or,
I cannot. I can fail one class this.
like yeah, like,
but
you're very like like you're
I'm
constricted, right?
super restricted.
Yeah,
I have a
very
gun to my head.
Basically, like
Yeah.
like grade school, you have certain criteria to meet, or you can't move on. That's all.
like-
Yeah,
On a
seriously.
much larger scale, because now you're paying for it, your degree is on the line, and this is like the reason you did this was for your career.
I'm sort of in
Yeah.
the same boat because when I started my graduate degree. Like I started, they took credit from my senior year as an undergrad, but it started the summer that just passed, and I took one class over the summer because that was the only one I could get into.
Yeah, same.
And I got a C plus. It was like a Swift class. If you guys know Swift, it's
Yeah,
like
Swift,
Apple's coding
okay.
language. It's like I'm not a huge programmer, but I didn't apply myself like nearly enough to get anything
You
above a
have
C
to in
plus.
coding. You have
Yeah,
to.
you got to put time
It's,
into it,
there's a
especially
few
when you're learning
subjects
a
where
new
you need, if
language.
you don't put the time into it, you're just gonna feel lost.
So like,
Listen, man, coding's like an actual language.
Yeah.
Like if you do not practice, you forget everything. And when you get to that next coding class, they expect you to remember it all as if you took it yesterday.
yeah,
And it's bad. Like math eases you in, right? You know, like subjects ease you in. They're like, hey,
right,
remember
right,
this?
right.
No, coding doesn't do that. They're like,
Right. So I got a C plus in that, and it wasn't until I actually got my candidate plan to study, which is just like a contract between universities. People call it different things, but it's just like a contract with the university saying like you complete these classes, degree, like guaranteed. So I like looked at it, and it's like, yeah, to be in the grad program, you have to keep above a 3.0 GPA, and if you dip below a 3.0 GPA, you get put on probation. If you're not out of probation by the end of the next semester,
you get kicked out.
yeah, you get kicked out.
And you got
Also,
a C plus, so
yeah, and I got a C plus, so like it counted that as a full semester. So now I'm on probation this semester.
really during
Yeah,
the summer.
yeah. So now
Okay, so
I'm on.
at Iowa State, your summer semester is not cumulative, but it's like probability, like not probability, but like you know how you add the
Right.
percentages, like
Yeah, yeah.
and then do the average. That is how they do it at Iowa State. So actually, when I got an A minus in class this semester, it took me off probation. So like
Right.
it helped my semester before it.
It so like right now. Oh, so I'm on probation for this semester, and there's another rule that says you're only allowed 2 C's in your entire graduate career, like the
Okay,
entire
graduate. Okay,
yeah
that's
entire
not
graduate
awful, but
career.
not good.
So like I got a C plus, so that took 1 C away. So now I can only have one other C. Like I can only afford to have one other C in my entire like grad
And you're
program.
taking hard classes.
Yeah, and I'm
so it's
taking hard classes. So I'm just like nice. So like
Listen, man.
I'm really restricted, but like I just have to make it past this semester and I think I'll be good.
I'm
You're
just
chilling.
one thing that really fucks me in college, dude, is that I like to consider myself fairly intelligent.
Yeah.
But no matter how much effort I put into studying, the teacher always puts that one question I neglected on the test. So no matter what
Yeah.
I do, there's always that one fucking question that lowers my test grades to like a B
Bro.
minus C plus.
I took an accounting
Every
test last
time.
week, and it was 30 questions, I think. No, it was 70 points, like 30 questions or something. So it was out of 70 points, but it was 30 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Questions 29 and 30 was like, where did the professor go on a hiking trip, and what method did he use to climb the mountain that he hiked? And that was one question, and then what method he used to climb the mountain was the second one. And I was like, you really think like out of all the things we listened to in lecture, like I'm gonna remember off the top of my head like where he went on a trip? Like I had no
That's
clue.
bullshit. I would bring that
I
to
literally
the
had no clue because, and I got like an 85, 86,
and
something
then
like
you
that,
got
like on the
wrong.
test. And it was like I don't know if I got those two questions wrong, but I guarantee if those two questions weren't there, I would have gotten a 90. Like
Mm-hmm.
Listen, bro, I'm so petty about grades nowadays because I have to be. That if my teacher did that and I got a C because of it, I would bring it to the dean of students and show them that and say this is not part of the curriculum
Bro,
and you cannot test me on this.
I'm
That's
then
how
then their defense to that is if you were paying attention in class, that question is a free point. Like
it doesn't matter.
I
It's not part
obviously
of the
was paying
curriculum.
attention.
Yeah.
Like it's just not like
But no, the counter argument would be that you didn't consider it part of the curriculum, so there's no reason you thought you'd be tested on. Who gives a shit? Where you know? But
right.
dude, that shit happens all the time. I had that on like 5 tests where it was like, what did the teacher say his favorite coding language is?
yeah, no,
when he
it's
introduced
because the
himself?
intention is to buffer your score.
Yeah,
and
that's
it
their
doesn't
curve.
work.
That's supposed to be their curve. But it's not. It's not a curve because you go to his lecture notes online. He doesn't have that in there. His favorite coding language is SQL or something. It was just something you were supposed to know, and that shit's so dumb. But the worst part about my major is how demotivating the average grades are. I don't know about your guys'
Oh,
major.
no, I had one. So you have like where everybody gets a 50 on the test and they pass.
No,
right?
dude, that's good.
No,
The
all right,
average
you
on
know
one
what
of
I'm
my
saying. Like,
CPRE class tests
theoretically
was
speaking,
26.
it's like that low, but people pass
Yeah.
because of the standard.
Yeah,
So
because
first class I took like this, like was either second semester, so first semester junior year. I think I took microeconomic theory, and said it to us like in the first week. He was like, "Yo, the test averages are going to be like 40 to 50, but there's a curve, so you're all going to pass." And it was like, "So what is the point?" And he was like, "I want you to understand everything on an abstract level. So you'd spend like 3 days straight like studying for a test, and then you go in the test, and you're like capable of answering like maybe 30-40% of the questions." And it's like, not only is it like I wasted all this effort, but you're still gonna do well, even though it feels like you're doing awful.
this is why they do that. I know it half of it's business and half the times it's business and half the times actually a teacher that cares. All right, for example, if I'm taking a math test and the test is over differential equations and they want you to solve a linear differential equation, which is dy dx plus p of xy is equal to f of x. All right, it's a standard differential equation. If they give you the equation in that exact equation, like you have each part of the formula is perfect, every student that studied would get an A on that question, right? So to make sure there's a curve, like kids that deserve A's get A's, is they change that equation up to where you have to solve it to get it into that form before you solve the equation, right? Like that's what they do, but in every class. So like your economics test, he knew that if he put it in the way where you had to figure it out yourself, not just regurgitate the information he gave you, you would truly get an A if you understand this information. That's the only way. And that's bullshit because I know it for a passing grade sense to like get a good grade, but they want to make sure there is an average, like an actual curve. Like they need people to fail. So even though you know how to regurgitate that information perfectly fine, you're still going to get a C minus to a D plus area because he changed it to the point where you can't pass unless you are a master at this test.
Right.
And that is like the main reason American education is a joke, and it always will be. It's sad, but you
Going
gotta study more. That's what that's their
right.
excuse.
Going back to something you said earlier about how like you can be petty with grades, like especially recently, I'm gonna have to start doing that as well because like I'm taking a concurrency programming class, which is pretty important for like any programmer, like be able to run multiple threads at once and all that good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's an elective for me. I just need to find classes to take. So like everyone there's a CS major but me, like computer science major, and so
I hate classes like that where you're the only one who's not the major.
yeah, I'm like the only non-major there, and so what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so like we're doing the homeworks and quizzes and everything, and for some reason, the TA keeps talking me one thing, but he doesn't highlight because I know he's taking like one, like for example, let's say it's worth 50 marks, and each question is 10 points, like that. So I know I'm getting one question wrong, but he doesn't explicitly say like which question it is or what I did wrong. And it's happening with every assignment. So already, like before the first quiz even starts, I'm already in a hole of like 80 points out of like 300 or something, or like 60 points out of 300.
Yeah, that reminds me of what I was saying with my lab.
So it's
Like they don't care that they're docking you twice, basically.
Mhm.
Like you're already in a hole, and now you have to face another hole.
right.
It's like fuck you.
So like I'm thinking about going to my TA and asking him explicitly like, what did you dock me here? Because you didn't point out what I got wrong. You just said I got something wrong. It's like the homework assignment's done. At least tell me like what I did wrong. So next time, like I get some dumbass question like this, I answer it differently because like my school is like 95% international students. Like for example, I'm in a strategic information systems class where
like MIS, or like
no, it's computer
National
information.
System. Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's a computer information.
I
But yeah,
can
it's
relate
sort
to
of like
that.
MIS, and literally, and I mean in a literal sense, of the 20 people there, or whatever, I am the only domestic student. Like I'm saying, like we got 8 people from India, like 1 person from Saudi Arabia, 1 person from Iraq, 1 person from Taiwan, like 10 people from somewhere else. But it's like I'm literally the only domestic student. And she even said like in the last time we turned in, there was literally just blatant plagiarism from each other. Like obviously that wasn't me, but I can just tell like, you know, it's gonna be the people that come from the same background that are probably cheating with each other. Like, and the thing is, it's like this for every single class. Everyone's an international student, so I'm just like, bruh, like I don't know how they do it, or they just like they only get caught in some classes.
I don't mind. I don't mind like class with students because I feel like it's not as big a deal. But I think the thing I hate about like foreign stuff in classes is teaching. I feel like there's such a disconnect already. Like I understand that these foreign professors are probably cheaper to hire and also probably very smart. They might be way better than
Yeah,
my other professors,
right.
but the language disconnect is so bad sometimes.
Barrier, you mean?
Well,
Language barrier?
yeah, well, yeah, same thing. All right, when you code, all right, how they give you the directions. I know Doc Gore's in the chat. And he's a coder. So Java Doc. Usually, when you get a Java assignment, they give you the Java Doc that explains how the methods or the classes are written, and you need to create that code with the Java Doc given to you. Well, if the guy that wrote it isn't like a native speaker, I get this broken English, or not completely broken, but like you can tell it's not his first language. It's already a specific thing. Like if you're telling me find the result, like return, count of something, and he says it in a way that doesn't make sense, like this is very specific, and now I'm already lost. And it builds on that because they already expect you to understand all this information, but now you're also trying to decipher the project that you're given's directions,
Yes,
and that screws you.
that happens in my concurrency programming class. It's so terrible. Like literally part 1 of the assignment was to create a code that does this, and then the second part was like make the code like this, but he worded it in such a way that you could have interpreted it 3 different like to code it 3 different ways.
Dude.
And I'm pretty sure that's how I got docked, was I didn't code it one of the specific ways. But I'm like, the way that it was worded gave me 3 options instead of just 1. Like, think about it.
That's
It's
no,
like,
no, yeah.
It's just like you got like
That's a
in
big
coding,
deal.
like in coding, you can find a result in like 1,000 different ways. You can code something in 1,000 different ways. Like, and if you should understand that when you explicitly say like how to code something, and like you said, there's a disconnect in terms of language or a barrier, so it's like it just makes it that much
they're
harder.
just more qualified. I agree, Doc. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm taking differential equations this semester because I took a break from math. And differential equations, my professor is Polish, and he's got very broken English. My TA is, I think, some form of Asian. I don't want to say Chinese because it might be wrong. And then my like other professor that like helps the TA, teaches the TA's lecture, and then the TA like is in there or whatever. He is from Spain. Like none of them are from America, and that's fine. Like I'm not hating on them being here. I'm saying that like if I have questions, like when I go to the Spanish teacher's office hours, the people in there getting help from him, he's speaking like Spanish to them. Like that's the main people in there getting help, and it's like when I try to talk to him, I can barely understand him, and it sucks because like had I known Spanish, he's probably an incredible teacher.
Right.
Like I don't know, and it really does make it like harder.
Bro,
I
that's
know
how.
Spanish.
Not on the same level, but you know how when I was in high school, I came down here for a semester and did 1 semester of high school in Miami, like living with my
Yeah,
dad. I went to like a school in Miami, and I was probably like the only kid who didn't speak Spanish. Like just if kids weren't from Miami that knew Spanish, there were kids who weren't from Miami that knew Spanish. They were all speaking Spanish. Like half my professors literally spoke Spanish. Like sometimes when a kid asked them a question, I'd just be like, "Yeah, bet, like totally, thanks." But like, keep in mind, I came from New York. I went through the public school system over there. Like, I'm usually considered like a decent public school system. Florida schools are so bad, bro. Like, I was like undoubtedly the smartest person in every single one of my classes, even if I had no idea what they were talking about. And the reason I knew this was because it was first semester junior year of high school is when I went down there. So SAT was a pressing issue at the time. People were thinking about taking the SAT in the near future. So one class at the school when you're a junior is an SAT class, like a prep class, like in school. And I was 34 kids in my class. I was the only person who had an A because I was the only person who could get above a 2,000 on the SAT.
Wait, how did you guys do on? Did you guys both take the ACT or just
I took
took
SAT.
both.
I
took both? How'd you do on the ACT?
I got a 30, but I didn't prep
Did
for the
it
ACT
did
as
it
much as I
help
did the
you?
SAT.
Did they
I
help
literally
you
did the exact
at
same on
all?
both.
Like, did they
Mhm.
help you get into colleges you wanted to, like, help you with anything in
Well,
college?
I mean, I had like very decent standardized test scores, just like generally speaking.
No, what I'm
especially
saying is, like, when we were younger, they made it seem like the ACT and the SAT decided your future.
No,
And
but it is a huge factor, and if you're able to perform really well on one of those exams, that can
Well-
be like a game changer for you getting into the school you want. Like,
True, but also at the same time, the only thing it's useful for is helping you understand like how well you are set up like to do in college. Like that's what it's reflective
you
of.
really think stuff you were tested on the SAT is like a
Well,
or
that's what
a
that's what
prerequisite
they
for
use it
college?
at. That's what they
I
use
really
it
don't
as.
think the SAT has nearly enough material to like.
Well, no, what I'm saying is
consider.
that's how the
If you,
school
bro,
uses
if you
it.
gave me the SAT in 9th or 10th grade of high school, I could still do really well. Like, it's not a hard test. It's just a standardized test, and I'm like, bro, I got an 800 on the math section. I got like a 600 on the reading comp.
Well, I know that they
I'm just
use
not
it
like a
on
reader.
for when they're evaluating your the higher you get on the ACT, the better chance percentage wise, like probability wise, you will do like you have a higher probability of doing well in college. And I feel like it doesn't actually matter. I mean,
bro,
dude, I got a
5 kids in my grade in high school got a 36 on the ACT.
yeah, I got a 34 and it didn't do shit for me. Like nothing.
But if you get a 36 or you get a 2400 or now a 1600 because they changed it,
They're
like,
dumbing it
if you-
down.
that
That's what
alone will get you into an elite school. Like the percentage of students that are able to get a perfect score, and it's not even a perfect score. Like the way they scored, it's like a few questions off, and you can still get a
Yeah,
max
because
score.
yeah, I
But
got
like
36s on parts and I
the
did
amount
not
of
get it all
students who are
right.
capable of doing that are only the ones who practice it over and over and over and over again. So like, bro, I went to school in the city. Like 3/4 of my graduating class was like brown and Asian. Like these kids' parents literally like prep them to take these tests and nothing else. Like that's who I was up against. So like it's just not fair. Like these kids eat, sleep, and breathe the SAT for like a year straight. It's just so broken, like the system. And like I just think there should be more criteria to judge on like how successful someone can be, like other than numbers on a sheet of paper. Because like for some people, it's just school that like prohibits them from succeeding. It's not
Right.
the environment they're like built to learn in.
Well, I think that's me. I feel like you described me. I don't think I'm incapable of being super successful. I think it's the fact I have to go to school to get there is what makes like stops me from being successful. Like I feel like I'm smart enough to like not go to college, but the thing is I know in in life you need that dumbass degree they give you to prove that you can do it. Like if you didn't need
Yo,
that,
yeah,
I'm sure I'd be
basically,
the
yo,
same.
you don't need a degree, but because it's so mainstream, if you can't get a degree, that's like people will think like, dude, he can't even get a degree. Like, how is he
Like,
supposed to do
and
anything
the
else?
thing is it's also like especially for computer engineering, computer science, you can teach yourself a lot of these things.
Bro,
like a lot of
computer
these
science,
Oh,
you could, dude. Do you know how
Oh,
many
not
like full
computer
stack
science.
developers are out there that just like taught themselves at
Yeah.
home on their computer and are now like some of the best coders in the world?
Right.
Yeah, but do you know how much effort they had to put in to like get that job?
Yeah, but
Like,
it's the same amount of effort you would put in if you were learning coding the normal way, bro. It's
I
just like
understand, but the
it's not as
gamble
traditional.
isn't. Yeah, the gamble isn't worth. You
No,
know.
but you could, if you're a good enough coder, bro, you could just get work. Like, there's companies who need work. Like, you just have to find them.
There's the value in the degree, like the diploma, but going to college and
Oh, Doc, I know what you're talking about.
connecting with everybody, like you network when you're in college. You talk with professors, you talk with TAs, you talk with your colleagues, like you network. If anyone
Yeah.
that's not networking with like me, I know the majority of professors in my entire college. Like I'll call them I'll just talk to them.
Bro,
It's like
time out. I'm touching on what Turnaround just said. Boomers had it easy. If anyone thinks otherwise, you're crazy, bro.
Yes,
When our
boomers had
parents
it.
went through college and got jobs, it was a cakewalk.
Yes. Now everyone
Well,
can do
my
it.
parents are my mom's 42, so She's not a boomer.
Neither of my parents
No, but
finished
not even a
college.
boomer. Like just generally speaking, like
Yeah,
20,
getting a
30
job,
years
being
ago,
qualified
like,
for a job. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. What you
bro,
mean.
my friends, like I have friends parent like whose parents like I grew up in Manhattan, so obviously I have some like pretty ridiculously like successful like people that I know. I have friends' parents who like have like elite investment banking jobs, and they went to school and like dicked around for 4 years in like the 80s. Like they didn't do anything, and they were like socialize, like they could socialize, and people were like,
Mhm.
"Oh, yo, come work at our bank
Yeah.
and make mad bread," like just because they were a normal human being who was like capable of being normal.
Nah,
Like now,
Doc
now
just
the
hit the nail.
criteria is just completely different.
When my grandpa went to college, he worked in a mine that paid like $5 an hour as like, and he was able to pay for college with that wage and still have money and then work for the same company as a mineral engineer after. And he was literally a co-CEO of that mine by the end of his career, and he was making 500K a year before he got that title. He won't tell me how much he made as his co-CEO. 500K a year, and he had a 2-year degree engineering major. 2-year engineering major.
That's
All he
great.
went was for engineering classes for his associates.
That's
And
great.
that's how much he made.
Bro,
Like, think about that.
did I ever
Like,
tell you about the guy who I like, Richie? You know that crazy internship I had freshman year?
Yeah,
There.
yeah. I do remember
So one of like when I worked at that company, it was a private equity firm. The guy who like who gave me all my work, like my like go to, I guess, like one of the associates on the team. Like this was like one of those companies where you go work at an investment bank for 2 3 years, and then you go get hired at private equity. You make like mad bread. It's really hard to get these jobs. Like next to impossible is how hard it is to
mhm.
get these jobs. And this dude got a sophomore year internship at JP Morgan, like 2 years into college. He got an investment banking internship. And if anyone doesn't know, investment banking internships are some of the highest paying summer jobs you could have, like because they slate
And
people.
and
Like
don't they take like a
Yeah,
long
yeah,
time to
yeah.
actually get into? Like it's like a long
no,
interviewing
it's
process.
I've done banking interviews. They're not fun. They're schooling and long. I
Right.
literally had to leave school at last to like come to the city for an interview
Right.
for a whole day of interviews just to not get hired. Like it was ridiculous. And so this guy I worked with, he did the internship at JP Morgan, and usually you get the internship in your junior year, like so that the following summer you
You
graduate and you
can
can
get
come
the
work at the
job.
and at the
Yeah.
job. And they said to him, like, listen, you're only a sophomore going into junior year, so like you can come back and intern next year, and if it all goes well again, we'll give you a job. And he was like, I don't want to be an intern again. Like you guys just treated me like shit for 3 months. So he said he went to Arizona State, which is like obviously not a school that like shells people out onto Wall Street. Like it's
Yeah,
Arizona
yeah,
Mhm.
State. And he said, "Yo, if I finish school in 2 years of school in 1 year, like I'll come work full time." And they were like, "Sure, like if you finish school in 1 year." So he did 2 years of school in 1 year and got a full time job at JP Morgan.
Wow.
And I was like, "Bro, so this like when I say like this is one of the smartest people I've ever met, like my dude just broke the system. He was at Arizona State, and you know how like there's third party scholarships you can get like through like Coca-Cola and shit, like
Mhm.
all those other
Mhm.
stuff. He basically applied for like a bunch of third party scholarships online every single semester and paid like 12K in tuition. So he told me in college he had about 40,000 a semester income and paid about 10 for school.
Wow.
And now he makes $500,000 a year
Yeah.
working in private equity on Wall Street. Like, bro, it's like, why do I even bother?
Right.
There's people like that.
Yeah.
Like, I seriously don't understand like how I'm supposed to compete.
Yeah. I know a guy. He was just telling me like I took the um mobile development a Swift class with him over the summer. He's actually in this process right now with a bank. Um, the internship isn't until next summer, but they start the entire interviewing like everything like the summer before, so like 1 year in advance. So he was
Yeah. So
saying, yeah. So he's like,
continue.
yeah. So he did like first it was like an online interview where you just answer a bunch of questions. Then it's like in person. Then it's written. He says he's like on like the third step right now, and it's still an ongoing thing. But it's for like programming, and
Bro, so
so
mine was
yeah.
3 rounds. So most of the people do like they try to get into the investment banking part of the bank because that's like the most popular part of the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So I went for corporate finance, which is like the team that runs the bank, not just like trying to do investment banking. It's like they basically make decisions about the company. But
Right.
there's one team on corporate finance that does all of the internal mergers and acquisitions. So all of the companies that like that bank wants to buy. That's the team I was interviewing for. So I did so basically I had to like connect with someone at the bank, and I had to be like, hey, like this is what I'm doing. These are my goals. I'd love to talk to you. Like I want to get in touch. And then once you like make a connection with someone, generally speaking, like people try to do this with people who've graduated from their college. But if you can make a connection with anyone, it's anyone. And then like you have to apply. And the way it works is you apply online for these things, but hundreds of thousands of people apply online. So they have like an online screening system. And if your resume doesn't match all the keywords, they just like shell out like 95% of the people. So it's impossible to get a first round interview without a referral from the bank.
Mhm.
So I got a referral from the bank, applied online, and they like literally like next morning like checked off my application and said like you're invited to a first round interview, which was like I had to dress up like this, like do a Skype interview, and I get on Skype. Like I've had notes for this. I have like my story that I've rehearsed, like who I am, how I can like get these people interested in me. And I'm so nervous like before the first round, and she like I joined the software, and I called her like my interviewer, and I was like, yo, like the video is not working. Like, what do you want me to do? And she's like, I just had the same problem with my last interviewee. Like, we're gonna restart it. If it doesn't work, we'll just do the phone. And I'm like, no way, I just got blessed this hard. Like, I can just have all my notes in front of me. Like, anything I need to say, if I choke up, it'll be right in front of me on screen. And she's like, so we'll just do audio. And she calls me up, and I'm like, and she's like, can you just give me like a little information about yourself? And I'm like, oh, I practiced this 30 times. Like, I don't even need the screen. And after that, like, I was just like, I gave her like my little background, and I was just chatting with her for like 40 minutes after that. And then,
That's a good sign.
no, listen. Like 2, 3 days later, I get an email, and it's like, we've decided not to move forward with your application. And I'm like, oh man, I just spent like a week prepping for that interview.
Bruh.
And then literally the next day, she calls me and she's like, yo, you weren't supposed to get that email. I'm so sorry. Like, I literally, like, fully, right after I interviewed you, like, decided you were going to the next round. Like, that fully
Oh,
shouldn't have
word.
happened. And I'm like,
Wait,
I'm
how
like, yo,
long did you have the email? How long did you have the
like,
email?
a day or two. Like,
Oh no! So for 2 days you were like
yeah,
sad.
no, so I'm like telling my friends, I'm like, yo, it's whatever, like next time. And then like I got this call, and last year I lived in a house with like 10 roommates, 4-floor apartment.
Mhm.
And you just hear me at like dinner time one night, and I just screamed, and I'm just like, let's fucking go. And then my friends like all run downstairs. They were like, yo, are you good? And I'm like, bro, I'm going to New York City next Friday. Like, I got the second round of this interview. I didn't do anything else for the next like 8 days, 9 days. Cause they were supposed to give you a 2-week grace period to like prepare for your interview. And I had already lost 5 days because of this.
Yeah.
Like this, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
2
yeah.
days. And I'm like, fuck. And then I had a week till I went to Florida, or to the city. I'm in Florida now. I don't know why I just said that. I called my mom. I was like, yo, I'm coming to the city next Thursday. Like, this is like, I can't believe this just happened. I'm kind of pissed, but like, I'm just gonna let it rock.
Mhm.
And I had 4 interviews and 1 case study presentation. So I had to be at the bank at like 8 a.m. on the Friday morning. So I drove home like 3 hours Thursday night. I pull up. I you sit down, and they're basically like, yo, we're gonna like, it's like we have a set of interviewers for like your group. So like my group is like 4 or 5 interviewees, and basically we like rotated throughout the interviewees. And if you weren't getting interviewed, there's like, you're taking a break. So you have 1 hour like in your rotation to prep your case study presentation. And I'm like, all right, I got this. Like, this part isn't like bad. All the information I need is like on the page, and I just have to like come up with ideas. And my last or no, my second to last interviewer, he's like, so like most of these people are like crazy experienced in their industry, like went to the dopest schools, like had this figured
Mhm.
out from like step one.
Yeah.
And the one dude who interviewed me, he's like, yo, so like I'm one of the few people here who didn't go to like Harvard or anything. Like, he went to like Queens College, which is like a city university in New York. And I'm like, oh man, this guy's gonna give me a hard time because I don't go to a fucking, elite university either. And my man sat there, picked up my resume, and picks up like a volunteer like thing I did in high school, and he's like, I want you to tell me everything you did in relation to this. And I was like, dude, I have like the most relevant internship ever, like from last year on my resume, and you're gonna ask me about like a volunteer event I did in high school. And I was like, off the bat, I was like, oh, he caught me off guard. So I had to start talking about like this like, so my mom used to be really big on like the whole Haiti relief thing, so I did a
Mhm.
lot of like participation in that type of stuff. I started telling him, I was like, I like just had to worked on this organization that basically like raised money and raised awareness in New York City for like what was going on. And he was like, like, what did you do? And I was like, I not just like tell you that? Like, I don't understand. And this guy basically tore me to shreds. And every single other interviewer loved me. So that guy, I walked out of the interview and I was talking to the kid next to me and I was like, yo, I fully just got like myself ripped a new asshole by that guy. Like, didn't ask me anything about finance, just straight up like was rude to me. Like, I don't know what to do here. And then the
Damn.
last dude was just like so chill. Like, he asked me, like, he was the one, he did like the most standard interview, like, tell me about yourself, like, why do you want to work here, like, what do you know about corporate finance, stuff like that. And my interview with the last guy went over the time limit by 30 minutes, like, because it was the last interview, and he just didn't care to take his lunch break because he was enjoying the conversation with me. And I was so confident after that last interview that I completely forgot about the interview before and I didn't get it, and I was so upset
Damn.
because I killed like all but one interview. I killed it, and I was like, dude, that was the easiest one to
Wait, so
prepare
was
for.
that Haiti relief thing like kind of something you just tossed on there?
Well, no, it wasn't.
Because you
It
like
wasn't like it wasn't like something I just tossed on there. Like, that was volunteer work I had done, but like, I don't do like a religious amount of volunteer work. Like, that was something that nobody would have asked me about ever. Like, why did you want to know about that over the private equity internship I had last year when this is a corporate finance office?
the only reason I'm asking that is because like
No,
my
it's
sisters
it's not
actually went to
it's not
Haiti to like
look,
work on their
yeah, no.
internship, so I
All right,
wasn't
listen,
sure like
I'm
how
gonna go ahead and
involved it
say like
was.
I wasn't like devoting my life to helping these people, but basically the problem was that I wasn't expecting to get asked about something like that.
Yeah,
So
like
you had
just
it.
had to
You
go
hadn't like
off
worded
guard.
it in your head.
No, yeah, and as soon as you get caught off guard, like something with something like so obscure like that, like your mentality in the moment just changes.
Right.
So like after that, I was kind of just like, where do I go from here? Like, I didn't prepare for this. Like, I feel so uncomfortable, and that's why like the only reason I did well in the last interview is because I had that 30-minute like grace period to just kind of like reset, and I was
Mhm.
like, damn, this is rough. But like, I've had friends who've done processes like that like for weeks and weeks on end until they got one of them, and I had like two, and I was like so grateful just to have like two interviews. Like, bro, that's because I'm not like one of those kids with like 4.0 GPA like coming out of fucking Brown. So
Damn.
when I get like dope interviews, I get.
I better. I'm a good talker, and I'm gonna have to use it because my GPA is. I'll tell you that.
Man,
No, it's just once you, no matter what you do, once you're 2 years out of college, no one is ever gonna ask you for your GPA ever again.
Mhm.
That's all. You
Well,
just
they
need
don't.
to
Dude,
show.
I know for a fact that they don't care about GPAs in my major because when you're even going to the career fair at Iowa State for like Google or like Amazon, anything like that, their GPA requirement is a 3. A 3. That's not to apply
They
there. That's
look.
just
They
to
look
talk to them
for.
there.
Yeah, but that's because people who work at Google have superior extracurriculars you've ever heard of, and on top
Yeah, I
of
know.
that, like, the reason they use GPA on this scale is not because like anyone can do well in school, but it's because it shows obedience. Like, if you aren't like obedient on like such a calm level, like you're not able to follow along with the guidelines and rules of school, like how are you supposed to do your job in real life? Like, how are they supposed to bestow
No, I get
responsibility
it.
upon you? Like that, I think it's messed up that like it's weighted so heavily like as a factor, but like that's like how else are they supposed to go off of that? Because anyone can say anything in a 30-minute interview. Like, that's proof. That's
Right.
why. So like, I don't agree with it. Like, I think we could do better, but like right now there is no better option.
Mhm.
Dude, we've been talking for like
Yeah, we've been talking for a hot minute.
Yeah, I feel bad for Emma. She's been sitting there waiting for me to be done.
That's facts. Shit from high school shouldn't be on your resume. Nick Abrams, like a year out of college on an internship. I'm working with only that.
I like to think I'm pretty good at interviews. I've only had to do like 3, maybe 4, I think.
I mean, I'm just generally good at like talking to people, so I don't find myself like
Right.
uncomfortable in an interview. But like, that was the first interview I had
Yeah.
where there was like something so like important on the line. Like, it was a game changer for me essentially, and that comes with practice.
Yeah. The most I can think of is like my last interview. He's like asking me a bunch of like technical questions. Like, he's like, "Oh, I saw you mention Linux on your resume in terms of operating systems. He's like, how do you do this, and this on Linux?" So I was like, bet. So like, I answered like the first question, answered the second question, answered the third question, and the fourth one, I'm like, can you repeat that fourth one? He's like, yeah, how do you do this? And I can't even think of what he said. I was like, this might not be the exact way you do it, but this is the workaround I use. And then like, it was like something with like sudo and like I don't know, something specific like sudo.
Okay.
And I was like, this is the way I do it. And he's like, okay. And then it was like a double interview. It was my manager, my supervisor. So my manager was the one asking me that. And then he turns to my supervisor and he's like, do you have any questions for him? And the guy's just like, he's like, no. Because the guy my manager just drilled me so hard about like Linux and all that crap. He's just like, no, he's good. Like he's good to go.
That's enough.
Yeah. So that was nice. But
I'm gonna be honest. I'm just grateful that I'm still in college. I'll worry about interviews next year when I actually have criteria to. Well, I have it now, but I want to make sure I have like an actual.
I'm just waiting for one of my homies to hook me up with a job.
Hey, networking, real shit.
Networking matters, man.
It does.
Yo, y'all don't got 500 connections on LinkedIn? Can't relate.
Bro, this guy from high school added me on LinkedIn like 3 years later, and I'm just like, sure.
Oh, no, bro, half my LinkedIn requests are people from want to connect with me.
Yeah.
Bro, my influx of LinkedIn requests once I had that internship after. It's like I'm not gonna say it, but the company I worked at, like I got really lucky with this like whole internship. The company I worked at was like very dope company, like top private equity company. So like once the kids who from my high school like started doing finance and they all saw that I had this internship, I probably got like 50 LinkedIn requests from that alone. I was like, y'all are fake.
Bro, speaking of LinkedIn, the very first professor I took in my college, like genuine professor, he went on like a 15-20 minute rant about how terrible LinkedIn is as like a company and like as an entity. And just like their business dealings, like he basically like called LinkedIn the devil. Like basically that's what he was saying. He's just like fuck LinkedIn. They'll sell your soul if they could. he was just ranting about everything about it. And he was like a pretty like, you know, distinguished professor who does like all that good stuff with computer science, like research papers, grants, and all that.
I still need Roman to make a good resume for me because he told me if I paid him.
Dude, you don't gotta pay me, bro. I just gotta be not lazy enough to do it.
Well, paying you makes you not lazy.
True. I mean, dude, I still have like my best friend from college like he's a year above
no,
me.
Nick, I'm a computer engineer.
Computer information
he graduated
systems.
in the spring, and he still texts me saying like, "Yo, can you write this email for me?" Connect with.
I'm really good at emails. I'm not gonna lie.
No, yeah, I'm really good at cold call emails. Like, I don't know.
Oh,
why
I hate cold call. Oh my
Really?
god, I hate it.
I will come up with the most elaborate 3-4 sentence paragraph to get this guy to hate you back. Like, I don't care. I literally like my boy Nick will email me and be like, "Yo, my 9th grade basketball coach works at JP Morgan now. Like, I need to like connect with him." And I'll be like, "Here you go. Here's an email. Like, got it. Like, done." I don't know. Something like along the lines like I just figured out talk on a professional level to like not bore people out and not be the same student just emailing you because they want a job over and over again because they get hundreds of those.
I need just an ounce of an existing connection, and then I can expand that to like, hey, we're best friends, like that. But like if I don't have any sort of connection with the person I'm speaking to, like cold call, like over the phone, it's like nope, I can't do it. Like
really, yeah.
I just can't. I just cannot. I feel just so. I feel so
what
terrible.
I did to like combat this was like, well, especially like in a professional sense, I started like looking at like a cold call email. If you open a random email from in the first sentence, if something doesn't catch your attention, like they're not going to be interested. So you can't just be like, "Hey, I'm Roman, like I'm trying to talk, like I want to get a job." Like you can't just that doesn't cut it. Like you got to let them know like you're going the extra mile, like this is who you are, blah blah blah. So like a lot of the time like cold calling, it's just like it's not about like what like the connection you have. It's like how can you catch their attention so that you can make that connection in the near future, because you don't have a connection with this person. That's just a given. Like cold calling like or emailing someone, like they have no idea who you are. So like how can you give them like give yourself a chance to pick up the phone and get on the phone with them? It's like, and I mean, I think it's a lot easier if they graduated from your school. That's why a lot of people use their alumni networks. But like even then, like if you pick up like if you go on LinkedIn and message someone and be like about something they did and they're like, yeah, like no, I want to share information about this, like help guide a younger person who's going on in this industry. A lot of the time, like these people aren't bad people. Like they're willing to help. You just can't be generic with your approach.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense.
From the networking god himself.
Real shit. All right, I think 2.5 hours. That's a pretty long time.
Last question before you wrap it up.
All right, yeah. Any last questions from the chat? I have
Yo, I have a question for you guys.
Hey,
Okay.
Sushi.
Is Shay actually fat?
Shay.
Yeah.
Honestly, bro, just fuck Shay. Just fuck Shay. Honestly, bro. Look, man.
Yo, dude, I don't know if it's a joke or like people on Twitter, like I don't know what she looks like, and I'm pretty sure most people know what she looks like, but like
Look-
everyone calls her fat. I
Look,
feel
bro.
so bad.
Look, it's like my thought process is
No
like
comment.
she's so scared to share her voice. Like I can only assume that she's morbidly obese. I can only assume that because your voice.
You know how easy it is to tell if someone's fat by their
From their
voice?
voice, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yo, I feel
Yeah.
bad. Sure, all right, next topic.
All right. So
Yeah, I'm not gonna comment. I have no idea. I don't talk.
yeah, and
I know of her.
I consider Shay like an internet friend. So fuck Shay, but
No,
in the
she's
playful.
funny. Like,
Yeah,
I
she.
follow her, but,
Nah,
like, I
her
just
tweets
think
are terrible.
I don't understand the community's roast versus like her
I get
actual.
what you're saying. Like, are they actually being mean or?
No, I think
Yeah.
everyone just calls her fat. Just call her fat. Like
No, because
yeah.
personally speaking, like if I was like afraid to show my face, like if I was fat, like theoretically speaking, people just
Yeah,
call
because
me
what if she
fat all
actually
day,
is
like,
fat?
I'd
Now
be
you
pretty
get out
upset.
of it.
Doc, everyone just called me fat just because I'm me. They I think they assumed I wasn't fat, but they just call me fat because it's like.
Dude, I've probably hit the ass end of my jewel thing 10 times this stream. I'm just
this
like,
man still Jules. Look at this dude.
Bro,
Bro.
that's what the jewel's doing to him, man. He's hitting the butt of it. Got him hitting the backside.
I'm not nearly as bad as some
Yeah,
people
everyone
in
called
the
everyone
trust
fat.
division.
All right. So do you have any last
Jewel's-
questions, Richie?
Jewel's so good, he's hitting the butt.
All right. So I guess like this is gonna be a. Zach, to answer your question, no, I would not have sexual intercourse with any individual that I'm not married to or been in a long relationship with. Okay. Last question. I think I'm gonna end every podcast with this question. So it's like a what would you or which one would you choose, sort of. So 3 ways to die. Don't answer until I've explained all 3 options. So, like I said, 3
Okay.
ways to die. So first way to die is death by bamboo. So how that goes is they have a wall of bamboo up. All right, they cut it straight across. They make a bed of it. All right, a bed of bamboo. They tie you up. All right, like they tie you up to it.
And cook you or what?
No, the bamboo's very interesting. It grows very quickly. The tip of bamboo is very soft, but very,
Yeah.
very strong. So it will literally grow through you. All right, in a literal sense, bamboo will go through your body. All right, so that's death
So
by.
you go in a bed of bamboo and it grows through you as you
Yeah, after
die.
days, you'll. Well, what
No,
will happen?
it'll start very quickly, but a few
Yeah,
hours.
It's
what
not
will
like it's
happen
not like it's
first,
gonna
though?
grow
Will you
through you in
die?
a day.
Yeah, it's like
How fast does it grow?
it's one. I think it's like the fastest growing thing. It's a predatory species because it literally destroys any environment it's in.
Well,
So-
what I mean is like 4
I-
days or.
Oh, you'll probably die like in a couple days. Like if
Yeah, I was
if
gonna
you don't
say,
if you
'cause,
don't
like-
die from shock from it initially piercing a part of your body, it'll take time for it to like fucking pierce a part of your body
I
that's
don't think I
Okay,
would.
okay,
or
no,
bleed
that's
I
out.
don't
okay.
like as soon as this shit starts piercing my skin, like, that's when you start dying.
No, yeah, I wasn't gonna get
Yeah.
technical because like you die from lack of
All right, next option.
All right, so that's
or
death by
water,
bamboo.
especially.
All right,
Okay.
death by fire. And the reason I put this in here is because scientifically it is the most painful way to go out because your nerves literally burn, like off, whatever, burn, numb.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and then third option is death by ants. So what they do is like what the Aztecs used to do. They tie you to a stake, and literally, ant mounds used to be 5 feet tall. So they would just tie you to a stake and stick you in it like that, like a garden stake or something.
Okay.
Like
So-
the stick would go into the top of the
Yeah,
ant
yeah,
mound
yeah.
and
It
you
would
just get
literally- yeah.
ants.
Yeah, ants
So,
would
like,
just eat you alive.
The ants will just like what? Like
Eat you alive. Like you're wide awake, you're being eaten alive by ants.
yeah,
So-
yo, they're all ass. I'm going
Tho-
with Ace. I'm just gonna shoot myself.
you got to choose one of the 3 options.
If I was gonna choose one of them,
Probably the fire because I don't think I could sit around and let bamboos impale my body until I die. I definitely don't want to be by ants.
I
I'm
think I'd choose fire, but it's not because like I think that's the best way to go out. It's because I know the other 2 are more torturous. Like I would have to sit there and endure pain for multiple days, as opposed to like 10 like a minute. A minute of
Or
burning.
if you get burned alive, like it's 5 minutes till you're dead. Like,
Okay, 5
The
minutes.
5
though,
most
and I'm done.
painful minutes in all of
Yeah,
recorded
but-
human history.
But
I
technically,
could put up with that. For 10 minutes.
5 minutes, or I suffer to bamboo for 2 days.
I
Alright?
mean, we don't know how fast ants will kill you. To be fair, maybe
that could be worse.
a
though.
5-foot
Starving, you know.
ant mound. They're immediately biting you every part of your body, bro. They could
imagine
through you
take
quick.
the bamboo option and it only grows like in your ass, so you just can't shit for like 4 days. You just explode. Like, I don't want that to happen.
Bro,
What?
bamboo's
Like, bro, I'm just thinking about the absolute worst option. Like, dude, fire, you just burn right there on the spot.
Okay. All right. I
Yeah,
think
I take fire. I think that's it.
fire. Honestly, I would not go with ants. And the reason I choose fire is because I want to experience the most painful thing the human body. Like, if I'm gonna go out, I may as well, like, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna push it to the
There is a
limit.
way- okay, I got a question then before you end.
All right.
If there is a way for you to die, it doesn't matter how. Which way would you go out? Like
Full
what
fucking
if-
send off the Empire State Building.
What?
No, like that. Like legitimately, that's how you would be. Like content.
You just want to splat on the ground? You could kill someone with like your shrapnel of your
Nah,
bones.
I mean, like, if I'm I'd probably want to die in like a hilarious way, like just so people could be like, "That's so fun." Like, that's such a random way to die. Like,
so they can meme you in the afterlife. Like,
yeah, bro. If my friends aren't memeing me after I'm dead, I failed.
probably do death by firing squad. Honestly, like,
Why? You just get shot?
yeah, I don't know.
I want to die to like an
Honestly,
overdose.
my preferred like death would probably be dying in my sleep, just because you don't feel anything.
Actually, I think
What if you just continue the dream you're currently having forever?
it's not possible.
I don't have
It's-
dreams that often.
It's
so I don't
literally
know.
scientifically not.
You cannot continue your dream forever in the afterlife. Are you serious?
No, because your brain is part of your body. So
What if it's a part of your
not
soul too? What if your soul just like takes that dream and runs with it?
When your heart stops pumping, your body stops working. So thoughts cannot be a thing. People
Damn.
that say sleep is the same as death are idiots because when your heart stops working, this stops working, your lungs stop working, everything stops working. So there's not a single way that your body can exist, all right, at all.
Damn.
So like you are done. There is no thoughts. Literally, women and thoughts in your brain. There's none. You're just
Alright.
dead.
Understandable.
I'd say death by freezing. I'd freeze to death.
Like not chronologically. What's it called?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Chirurgenically.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
cryogenically. Yeah. You want that to happen to you, or like you just freeze, like you just frozen,
Nah, like in a blizzard, like lay down in some snow and die.
become a
Dude, but
snowman.
that would also be like super painful because you'd get
No,
frostbite
no, that's
and,
not
like,
true. You
thaw
wouldn't
out.
feel it. You'd just go to sleep. When you're like in like a mass amount of die. Like that's actually how you die. It's one of the least painful ways to die.
Does your body just go numb, or do you just knock out?
I think you like pass out from the cold.
Is it like the sudden change in temperature, or is it just the gradual change in temperature?
You'd probably suffocate, Alan, but I just mean like laying in it, not like suffocating in it. Like just dying in the cold, like a freezer that I can't get out of or something.
Oh, interesting. All right,
Like-
guys. That was the first How Is the Name podcast. Maybe next time we'll talk about the afterlife. Who knows? Depends who's on with me.
Well, I mean, segue in from the good place. That's a good place
Yeah,
to
maybe
start.
I need to watch.
I'm gonna watch that right
Based
after.
on Roman's recommendation and his vouch, I'll probably watch The Good Place. Based on
It's like a weird, like when you're watching it, you like feel like it goes so strange, but like once the end of the episode
Mhm.
wraps up, you're like, yo, I need to check out the next episode.
Gotcha.
Like, what's going on?
based off Richie's recommendation, I will start Trailer Park Boys. I think I'm gonna watch all of it, but I gotta wait till the semester's over. So, but I will
Alright,
definitely.
one thing
Fair
you need
warning,
to do.
you're gonna feel like you have a 0 IQ watching that.
Okay.
But that's the best part of it. All right,
Yeah,
no,
no,
seriously,
that is, like,
Heighton,
the
I will
best part.
beg you. At one point, maybe not tonight, but one night, you have to watch the movie Sinister, and you have to.
I
give me
think I
your
need to
opinion.
watch it with somebody just so like I can crush their
I'll watch
hands.
it with you.
No,
I'll
no,
watch it
I
with
need
you.
like a physical person with me so I can
Okay.
like slow like have a
It's
death
not
grip.
very gory, man. It's not gory at all.
Okay,
so
that's good.
it's just scary. That's it.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you guys for watching the podcast. What time is it? Damn, it's 11
11.
o'clock. Real shit.
12:10 for me, Yuri.
Word. All right. Thank you guys for being
Loser.
on. Thank you for being my first
Thank you for
guest.
having us.
Real shit.
Yeah, thanks for having me,
It
man.
was good
Good time.
conversations, good times. All right. Thank you guys. I'm gonna end the stream. I might restart it, but just like so I can get this entire VOD and maybe put it on YouTube. I don't know. Yeah. Ending stream.